Friends, welcome to the dawn of a new era. A monarchy will fall, a prince will rise. Welcome to the new kingdom of shadows. Welcome to Let's Fight a Boss 2020.
You're really cut up about Harry and Meghan leaving, huh?
Yeah, John, chill.
What are you talking about?
I know, it was a big knock to all.
We never had Harry and Meghan on here. What?
It's just some royal family drama. I know that you're very adamant about following it all the time and bringing it up. You're always Dark Prince this, Dark Prince that.
No,
So Harry, the Dark Prince, has left. the royal family.
I've never heard of these characters, but we're not talking about the same thing. I'm talking about me, King of Shadows. Well, soon to be King of Shadows.
That sounds kind of predatory. I don't know about that.
It is. I've covered this on the Shenmue Let's Play. I'm a predator. Okay? I'm a predator. The King of Shadows, and I hunt people. I'm dangerous. Better watch out. Hide your family.
Oh, the family. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Guys, listen, I was trying to do like a big dramatic 2020 intro, and I can't help feel that you've squandered that. As per usual with this podcast, I serve you both up gold and you completely waste it.
Your bits are always so like nourishing and filled with comedic timing and just general banter that is usable. No,
thank you,
absolutely
Brian.
not.
Anyway, moving on. Welcome to the Let's Fight a Boss video game podcast.
You're just fucking with
the
his
world's
sound.
strongest video game podcast. I am sitting here with the two strongest podcasters of the year 2020. To my left, the master of audio, the wrangler of WoW forms, it's Brian.
Hi, hopefully the sound is all balanced after this because John is going like real quiet to real loud, and
I have a lot of energy after MAGFest still. Yeah. I don't know what to do with it. It's been really complicated.
I'm so sorry for your earphones, everybody.
I'll compress it or normalize it or fucking some magic. To my right, it's the Sultan of Sound. It's Neve.
Hello, everyone.
There, that intro wasn't so bad. See, we got there, right?
We did, yeah. We it's somewhere.
Start as you mean to continue. It's a new year. It's our first podcast. Let's just fuck it up right out the gate.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that's maybe a little bit of a harsh assessment, but let's just roll on. Let's not get our feelings.
Let's just fuck it up the hole. Is that what you want?
Okay, let's try and rein it back in. Video games, guys. Give me some some fun video game trivia. Brian, what do you got? Okay,
Shenmue.
terrible. Neve, what do you got?
Rio doesn't wear underwear under his jeans.
Okay, that is categorically untrue.
He has never ever released. John's making a face. So yeah, this is marked E for explicit, I think. Yeah,
usually right.
Do, yeah.
I
think if you're under the age of 18 and you're listening to this podcast,
whenever we say this, we get so many messages from people being like, I'm 12, and it's like, no,
don't be 12.
Yeah, no,
that's too young to be listening to. Like, I would not have listened to a podcast when I was 12 because that is some boring shit.
I would not have listened to this pod. Like, I think if I listened to this podcast when I was 12, I would have made one of the many decisions I made back then where I was like, you know what, this is a little adult for me, and I'm going to take a step back, like the TV series Clueless.
Oh dear.
Oh, so we're back together.
We are.
It's been a little while since Game of the Year. We got it wrong, unfortunately, as people let us know. So we're going to endeavor to redo the whole thing and get back in there and figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, we really fucked up with Death Stranding.
Yeah. I still can't fucking believe that. Should have been number one.
No, it shouldn't have.
Hey, I liked River City Girls, but you guys were having none of it.
I would rather River City Girls was in our top 10 than Death Stranding.
Me too.
Well, I guess we all fucked up then, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, yeah. Just fucked up 4.5 years ago when we started this podcast. And
That I've been saying that for 3.5 years.
Do you think we'll ever get the right Game of the Year results?
Absolutely not. No.
no.
I think in our own way we're all very stubborn, and our mutual destruction is assured every single year.
I think our 2020 Game of the Year should be The Last of Us 2, just to be like...
Do you want to just agree on it now?
Yeah.
Last of Us 2.
Last of Us 2.
Last of Us 2.
A game
Okay.
that ticks all the boxes.
Yeah.
A flawless gem.
Yeah. Oh, what about Animal Crossing?
Animal Crossing.
number 2.
Number 2.
Okay. Number 3.
Final Fantasy VII Remake. Just got to keep the Square babies happy.
Yeah. Sure. Number 4.
Ghosts of Tsushima, just because we just love those third-person character adventure games with the skill trees.
Yeah. And
Max that shit out.
Number 5. Just stop me complaining too much. No More Heroes 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Done. Okay, guys, we'll see y'all in 2021. That's all our content this year, unfortunately. But I think it had some high points. The joke about Rio's underwear was maybe a little tasteless, but that's just kind of how we were. Brian, we went to MAGFest.
We did indeed.
Yeah.
We are just back from MAGFest. We
Still
have,
kind of fucked up from it.
I have severe jet lag.
Yeah,
I'm napping
not-
about 3 times a day.
Oh man, me too. I woke up like yesterday, and I slept from about midnight till around 7 a.m. And I was like, that's relatively normal. And then I slept from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I guess what kind of fucked us up so much was the time zones, but also the staying up until 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Did you babies not go to bed?
No, because there was video games that had to be played.
The arcade in MAGFest is 24 hours a day.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
And like you stay away from that con between like 12 noon and 8 p.m.
Okay.
And it's like only after those hours is
when,
it like
when the clock hits 3 a.m., that's fucking Brian and John time, baby.
yeah. There is slightly less people in the arcade, and the queue is
slightly less.
Yeah, and so it's maybe 1 or 2 people ahead of you in the queue.
Yeah.
Neve, do you mind if we tell some MAGFest stories?
Go for it. This is my first time seeing you since you're back, so I want to hear them too.
Okay.
We even hugged when we saw her.
Yeah, it was weird.
I'm sorry.
We touched
I
titties.
just, yeah, we did, didn't we?
Yeah.
That was cute. A real step forward in the right direction, everyone. I guess out of context first, the way we set our body clocks when we were over there was that I bought some cough syrup that that I had used 2 months ago when I was in California, and I found the exact same brand of cough syrup in the CVS near the hotel, and it comes in 2 packs, the daytime one and the nighttime one, and the nighttime one makes you drowsy.
The nighttime one knocks you the fuck out.
Yeah, so what we would do is at midnight, me and John would each drink one, and then we wake up the next day at 8 a.m. with 8 hours sleep under our belt.
And to quote myself on the first night, Brian, I'm not drinking that.
But it was like...
It was the best, honestly. It was really good.
And it's better than
like,
the alternative of not having sleep.
Yeah, because I never sleep properly at cons. I'm getting that shit every American con I go to now.
And so,
like,
yeah.
it helps you regulate your sleep until you hit the sweet spot in a con where you just don't sleep anymore.
Yeah. So I guess even before we went to America at the airport, we met...
Fucking human disaster.
Yeah. So we're in the queue where you check in your bag and you get your plane tickets. And this is... we're flying with Aer Lingus, which is generally how you fly. And they fly directly to America. They fly directly to Chicago, New York, Washington, so on and so forth. And so it's a big long queue full of either Irish people or American people on their way to America. And we're zigzagging.
Fucking dude.
And so we're zigzagging back and forth in the line, and we notice that there's an unattended suitcase. And the Aer Lingus staff member gets out from behind his desk, walks over to the suitcase, and for a good 10 to 15 seconds goes, "Whose suitcase is this?"
And he's like pissed,
Yeah.
you know, because
Yeah.
like this is kind of weird. Everyone's getting a little tense.
He's trying to get everyone's attention. Whose suitcase is this? And from the middle of the queue, we hear, "That's my suitcase." And it's an American gentleman in his 50s.
Big, tall, wrangly looking gentleman.
Yeah, late 50s, white, never been wrong in his life.
No.
Ever.
And especially not now.
Yeah, and he goes, "You cannot leave your suitcase unattended in the line." And he goes over and drags the suitcase back. Aer Lingus staff member walks away, done with this shit. And very loudly, under his breath, what does he say?
No, not under his breath. No, declaring it to the entire fucking line. He just says, I maintained visual contact the entire time.
Oh my god.
And so, do you know what I fucking love about this? His version of events, according to him, is him standing, looking at his suitcase, walking backwards in the line, watching his suitcase get further away from him, and he thought this was a better solution than just admitting he fucked up.
Yeah.
He was giving it an ocular pat down.
Yeah, honestly.
That's what we said afterwards.
Yeah, and to me and John look at each other and we are beaming. We're just like, oh my god, this is already
I
starting
think we
off.
actually said, like, what a fucking idiot, but, like, well within earshot of him.
Yeah, who cares? He can't maintain audio contact, so, like, he's not going to hear us.
And the entire fucking con, we were just like, gotta maintain visual contact.
At all times.
Oh, man.
So the flight's fine.
Yeah, it's grand.
We arrive in Washington.
Wait, go back to the flight. Did you get a little meal?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
just chicken.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Got a vegetarian cannoli.
So we're kind of half looking over the schedule, and I kind of bring up the fact that, like, why are we going to MAGFest? And I'm asking John, like, why do people like his YouTube channel? What's the fucking...
Okay, Brian is like, so are people gonna, like, come to your panel? And I was like, yeah, probably. And he's just like, why? And I was like, I don't know, Brian. I think they're just emotionally invested in the videos. And then he goes, yeah, but, like, why? And I go, Brian, I don't know. And this is something that Brian says to me, I'd say maybe once a month. He's like, but your videos, they're just something to take a shit to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you just watch
Brian!
I watch him on the toilet.
Yeah, same. But Brian...
And so, and then he goes, I mean, like, I like Final Fantasy VII as much as the next guy, but come on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Brian, look, I don't know what to tell you. And he was like, and he's like, okay, I'm like, and he's half trying to walk it back, but like maybe 10%, but like with every attempt to walk it back, pushing it forward more. And he's like, you know, I'm just saying, like, you're just a YouTuber. You know, you're just like a fucking guy. And I'm like, okay, Brian.
I mean,
and so then anyway, like, conversation moves on, and we're kind of talking, and I'm like, oh, actually, you know who I think is going to be here is that YouTuber, Boundary Break, and Brian's like, Boundary Break's going to be here.
Yeah, I was so excited.
We all have that one YouTuber.
Yeah, and so then we meet him at a meet and greet, kind of like after party, and I tell him this story, and there's other YouTubers around, and I'm like, look, dude, I'm a big fan of your channel. There's other YouTubers here, they can go fuck themselves. And they were kind of like, fair enough.
Yeah.
But
The
yeah,
YouTuber was me.
I really, really like Boundary Break. That's a great channel.
Thanks. Good to know that, Brian.
I think everyone should check that channel out.
He's a great channel and a lovely fellow.
Anyway, so there was kind of bits and pieces to this trip where John and I were kind of one-upping each other. But there was one point where John genuinely broke me. And so, you know me and money.
Yeah.
And me in particular with a spare change. And so I have a coin purse in which...
Brian loves to count spare change.
I do.
Like, this is one of his dad habits.
Oh, this has gone beyond dad into little old man.
Yeah, so what I was doing was John would leave his loose change lying around, and I would gather it in a bag, and then I would like
a weird little scavenging gnome.
Yeah, and so the plan was to like count it all up, and then maybe buy a packet of M&Ms on the last day with the change. Mm-hmm. And so I go, and so this is on one of the days in the afternoon, and I can hear the jingling in John's pocket, and I go, "Hey John, can I have that loose change for my bag, please?" And John goes, "Oh, this change?" And he looks at me and he backs away, goes into the bathroom, pulls out a waste paper basket and fucks the change in the bin.
And Brian made a sound that I can only describe as like the soul of a whale ascending to the afterlife. Like, no.
Did part of you want to root through the bin and you had to stop yourself?
No, part of him didn't.
So the next day when I've calmed down, I'm on the floor and I've disassembled the bin and I'm collecting the 23 cents. Thank you very much.
Was it worth it?
Oh yeah.
For your time?
Oh, for my point of view, it was literally the best fucking money I've ever spent in my life. Because like Brian riles me up a lot, But in this one fucking moment, I got him, and one other that we're not going to talk about.
No. So part of the deal with this trip was that we were guests. I was John's +1. I was his bodyguard, and I think, like, I know, jokes aside, I think I did a decent job.
Oh, jokes aside, Brian did a fucking excellent job.
Yeah.
He was a great bodyguard. He was a lot of fun to hang around, and he got me everywhere I needed to be and dealt with all my fucking weird stuff.
I got you coffee. I made you bats. It all worked out.
Yeah,
Was that part of it?
Yeah,
that's officially part of it. Now.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Bath boy. Anyway, the first two or
Neve,
three.
if we ever go on a trip together, if there's no fucking bats, Neve, look, we'll talk about it
I'll
after
be your
the
bath
podcast.
girl, okay?
Right, good.
So the first couple of mornings.
Do you regret saying that, Neve?
I'm just like, I don't know. Your relationship is weird and beautiful, and
Me and Brian have like
Yeah.
the most normal relationship.
no,
It's just
absolutely.
It's just a normal relationship between two normal boys. Okay? There's nothing weird or strange about it.
No, there's not. Okay, so the first couple of days we have the guest breakfast, which is in, which is not in the breakfast restaurant area, but rather it's up on like one of the higher floors, and they've like broken apart a couple of hotel suites, and they just have like a buffet.
Okay.
Pretty decent buffet.
Yeah, pretty decent buffet. It had fruit, and I was very happy to eat fruit in America because that's kind of a rare.
Yeah,
like
super
like
rare.
a lot of breakfast buffets is like sliced ham
Yeah.
and stale croissants, but this like they had cinnamon crunch. They had these weird banana peanut butter wraps that I was very into.
Yeah, it was very good, all things considered. But it was really interesting for like people watching to see the other guests. And a lot of the guests are musicians, a lot of like chiptune DJs and like heavy metal dudes that do covers of like Final Fantasy songs. There was one guy in particular, and I don't think he's going to mind because I don't think he listens to this podcast. He was a guy that kind of moved like a frog. And I like frogs, but this guy was kind of hopping around a bit too much for my liking. And he had a big, long, scraggly beard, and he was not wearing shoes or socks.
Oh no.
Well, there was a bit we were walking by him, and it really gave a very clear impression of who this man was and the decisions that had led him to this moment.
Yeah.
But he was like squatting down in bare feet, trying to pick up all the spilled strawberries.
Oh.
It was like strawberries, granola, and yogurt.
It just all over the floor, and he was picking up with his hands in bare feet, and you just kind of looked at him, and you're just like,
He's not good at solving problems.
yeah.
Just a lot of special people.
Mm-hmm.
Do we talk about the Christmas tree man?
I mean, that's going to be public knowledge soon enough.
Okay, so John did a panel with our dearest Wooly,
Yep.
and there was a bit in the middle of the panel where they took a Q&A, and this was the part of the panel that was kind of the improvised part, and it would go as it goes.
Yeah.
And boy, did it.
And so they got a couple of normal questions, and then they got this one gentleman who was dressed as a Christmas tree.
In a good costume?
No. This was like one of those costumes you wear to a Christmas party night out, and by the end of the night, it is just like caked in alcohol. It was just like a green fleece Christmas
Things
tree.
started to get
Okay.
a little rambunctious when we said it was the last question, and the guy on the mic was like, "Oh, I don't want to ask the last question," and then the people behind him started getting very rowdy.
And so this guy jumps in front of the mic and hijacks the whole shit. And
So when Brian says he hijacks it, he takes the mic out of the question stand and then turns his back to me and Wooly and starts playing up to the crowd.
yeah,
Okay.
doing like a full Kanye.
Yeah. And so then he turns around to Wooly, and Wooly was wearing like this cherry blossom hoodie, and he says to Wooly, "Why are you wearing cherry blossoms? It's winter." And Wooly, without missing a fucking beat, goes, "Why are you dressed as a Christmas tree in January?" And the whole place goes fucking mental, and everyone starts chanting, "Holy shit! Holy shit!" And then I say into the mic, "I can't believe we got to watch a man die."
Anyway, this guy starts going on some tirade, and he's like a raving Garlac. Like, nobody can understand what he's going for, but he's just like trying to hype himself up. Wooly has to get off the stage, put his hand on his shoulder, and rob the mic off him. And just...
So Wooly told me after that what he said to him was, "Let it happen, dude. Just let it happen." And that calmed the guy down. And that's such a Wooly solution.
Yeah, I really, really like his energy.
Yeah. Wooly or the guy.
Wooly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Side note, we saw a lot of our friends over there.
We did.
And it was so fucking good seeing them. There's about 15 people I'd like to mention who we kind of hung out with a lot, who are just like the sweetest, most welcoming guys. But like big shout outs to like Wooly, Rachel, James, Austin. Like those guys are the fucking best.
Absolutely. As someone who'd only like, I'd met Wooly briefly, I'd met James a bit. I felt very included. They were just a very welcoming group of people. It wasn't about like who you are on the internet. It was just who you are as a person. It was just like, if you could make them laugh, you were in.
Yeah.
And
It's
I
the kind of
like
thing
that.
where like Brian didn't know anyone the first night, and then like I'd say by the third night they liked him so much better than they liked me. Which I get it.
It was pretty good.
Order restored.
Yeah.
We played a lot of Jackbox party games, and that's a great icebreaker, I find.
Oh, totally. And Red Flags was really, really fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a lot of positive
Magma
energy
as well. Magma's like the sweetest fucking guy.
Yeah, I really like that
And
dude.
Steph, yeah.
Steph,
Stop
absolutely.
now, but everyone was great.
Yeah. And then on the last day, John and I had an hour to kill before we were getting our car back to the airport.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided to go for a walk down memory lane. And we went through a hole in the fence, walked up a street, and he showed me the Airbnb that he stayed in 5 years ago.
This is with the couple
Yep.
that tricks Airbnb
Yep.
people to convert them.
Yep.
Yeah, the hardcore Christian folk. Keith and
Pamela.
Lovely people.
Yeah, you know, they were. And man, just standing outside that building again. And it was so fucking strange because like nothing about that neighborhood had changed. Like the same hole in the fence that I used to get through there, it was still there. And like I nearly lost my mind when I saw it. I couldn't fucking believe it.
Because like John has described the story to me several times, but to see it actually in person was something else. And we didn't ring the doorbell or anything like that.
I wanted to. Like,
no way.
My thought process was like, look, fuck it, we came this far.
No, fuck that. I just wanted to stand and take it in. Just a piece of John history.
Yep.
Beautiful.
A formative piece of history.
Yeah. Then I was just going to say real quick about the con itself. I'm not a big fan of cons anymore. I'm just too old for it. This is the first time in a long time that I've been to a convention where I'm like, I really like this con. It's just the people there are great. They have a really, really good trade hall and artist alley, great panels, and I think my favorite thing is just the 24-hour arcade setup. As someone who loves the arcade scene in Japan and has been to Japan twice and loves video games, this is like the perfect video game holiday. If you can't make it to Japan and you're in America, this is the best option you got.
Yeah, it's my favorite con in the entire world.
It's so good.
I fucking love it. Like I'd say chances of me going next year are like 90%.
Anyway, I got some retro games. I just want to say real quick.
Go for it.
I got a Super Famicom version of Yoshi's Island for $15. That's one of my favorite games, and I got it for like €12. I got some Neo Geo Pocket games. I got Samurai Showdown, and I got Pac-Man.
You got Samurai Showdown 2.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. God, that game looks nice.
Yeah, and I got them for like $15 each, which is really good too. I got, and this is a game I've wanted for the longest time. It's called Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis for Game Boy Advance. And this is a port of the original Sega Mega Drive Genesis Sonic the Hedgehog, but for the Game Boy Advance. And it is considered one of the worst ports ever made. It's a 50-50 chance that the audio will play.
Okay.
The game is super zoomed in, so you don't know what's in front of you. The frame rate chugs from the get-go, and there's probably like a 1.5 second delay on changing the direction of Sonic.
So you just wanted to own this piece of little crappy video game history.
Yes. But then I think this came out about 15 years ago, but the Sonic modding community were so kind of like inspired by how bad this game was that they decided to port their own version of Sonic the Hedgehog to Game Boy Advance, and it was a much better version. And some of the people from that community ended up making Sonic Mania.
That makes perfect sense.
So I just like owning that piece of history. But that's my MAGFest.
And that's our MAGFest. It was a great MAGFest. Definite highlight was the panel with Wooly. And like Wooly mentioned to me, he was feeling like a little anxious beforehand. He was like a little unsure. But fair play to the guy, he fucking killed it.
Oh yeah, he did.
It was so much fun.
And also meeting lots of podcast fans. You are lovely people.
Oh yeah, we met a bunch of sweethearts.
Yeah. And to new people that I kind of encourage to listen to the podcast, welcome. Please keep listening.
Yeah. So that's our MAGFest. Neve, I want to toss it over to you. Neve, how was the Lighthouse?
Oh, this feels weird to go after your MAGFest journey.
Well, it's a story about two very frustrated men.
Yeah. Two
Trapped.
men trapped together on an island.
Yep.
I made my family watch this with me over Christmas holiday.
Oh my god.
Now, Neve, that doesn't seem like a great thing to do.
I was like, do you want to watch The Lighthouse? And they were like, oh, like, who's in it? And I was like, Robert Pattinson. And they were like, And I was like, Willem Dafoe. And they were like, oh. And I was like, okay, I gotta warn you, it's in black and white, because I thought that would be the contentious bit, because like they're old country parents. Just to get them in the door. So
I have to question why this is even a house you want to enter with your parents.
Just the gleeful awkwardness.
It's very awkward.
Yeah. I just thought it would be hilarious for them to be like, oh, Jesus. And it was. I had a lot of fun because I was just beaming the entire way through. There's a scene where Robert Pattinson like furiously masturbates and he like breaks his wank statue. And my mom was just like...
hang on. What's a wank statue?
He has a statue of a mermaid and he's so lonely that this is the only thing that he has is porn.
Yep. And nearly as like a token just in general. And then he starts to resent... Like it's a whole thing. But... When we were watching that, my mom was just like, oh, she was just like, oh, I hope the boat comes for him. She just wanted him off that island. But anyway, I watched the Lighthouse with my parents, and not a good movie to watch with your family, I would say, but I found it very funny. My sister pieced out like 20 minutes in.
Fair enough.
It was great. It first of all looks fantastic. Like that black and white is just so gorgeous, and it's in that aspect ratio, so it's like a little square.
It's almost like it's pretty much a square.
Yeah. It is beautiful looking, and Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe are amazing in it. Like this, it's a film where not much happens. It's a guy down on his luck. He needs a change in careers. He's kind of hiding out, but he's also trying to find himself. And he just ends up on the island with this old man who's been there for years and is just so painfully lonely that he kind of tries to trap people on the island with him by different ways, manipulation, kind of.
I could totally see becoming that man.
Yeah.
I found in the first half, Willem Dafoe definitely chews up the scenery more. And like, there's bits where like they'll rip into each other and like insult each other and tirade each other for like a good 2 or 3 minutes. But then later on, Orpats gets kind of like the advantage over him, and he gets to have his turn, and like his monologue where he tears into Willem Dafoe's character is as good.
It's so good, and it's just like they start hurting each other in really personal ways. One of my favorite monologues is when Orpats tells Willem Dafoe's character that he doesn't like his lobster, his cooking, and Willem Dafoe's character's on the ground and he's just like, you do like my cooking. Like, and he's just so upset by it. And like, this is the time they've gone drunk to each other, they've like fucking fought each other, they've just had like, they have been in the most emotional states with each other. But this little contentious thing about the cooking is
what's sliced to his core.
This is the thing that he was just like it upset him so much because like no matter what, he thought he enjoyed his cooking. It's a really great character piece. It's really intense. It doesn't end well for anyone.
No,
but
it's like one of the worst yaois I've ever seen. It's not good.
There's a lot of homoeroticism in it. There's a lot of just horny energy in general.
Yeah,
and a lot of seagulls. And
it's two guys trapped in a giant penis fighting over the penis.
Yep.
Like, that's the film.
Mm-hmm.
Sold.
Yeah, good time. Really liked it.
Cool. Guys, I saw Toy Story 4.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
I loved it.
No, it's good. It's good. I think I definitely liked it better than 2 and 3.
What?
Yep.
Oh my god, you're so wrong.
Why? Why am I wrong, Neve?
I think this is the weakest Toy Story by far.
What about 3?
Three is great. 3 is a really great end to that trilogy.
I think you're wrong.
I think 3 is
But
the
I think
weakest, but then 4 is weak as well. But then they're all amazing at the same time.
But you see, I think this is the problem because Toy Story has been about like dying and accepting death since the second movie.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I found I didn't like really about 4 is like, I really liked, Yabby Gabby. I liked her a lot, and I liked her like mannequin dummy.
Oh yeah,
her mooks.
I loved that whole antique shop.
Yeah, that
and they
was
go in
a
and the
good
music
space.
from The Shining's playing. It's fucking weird.
It's pretty good. But I thought Yabby Gabby was kind of a weaker version of Prospector in a way.
I hated that they turned her good.
Yeah, but this is my problem with Yabby Gabby, is the theme of her, right? Is Yabby Gabby used to be a doll with a voice box, and her voice box breaks, and then she wants to steal Woody's because then a child would love her because she feels she hasn't been picked up by a child because she doesn't have her voice box. So you kind of think where this would go. In my mind, where a Toy Story would go is that it would be like, no, the defect isn't the problem, and you just need to find the right child who would love you even without your voice. But no, it's not about that at all. It's about the defect is the problem.
Yep.
You need to fix it. And at the end, the child finds her specifically because of her voice.
They kind of do go the direction you're saying,
Yeah,
and
and I
then
love that.
double back.
Yeah.
There's just a convenient child at the end.
But I think it's like Toy Story has this problem now where it's like, how do you fucking end Toy Story?
Stop making them.
And so I feel like my writing efforts on this podcast have maybe been like a little mixed in the past. I feel like you guys have always been really impressed with whenever I pitch ideas like for films and stuff, but maybe never quite on board. And
it's usually your casting.
I'm hoping to maybe correct this now, okay?
Okay.
Here's my ending to Toy Story 4.
Okay.
Everything's the exact same right up until the chase at the end, all right?
Okay.
Woody falls over and he cuts his hand. And he looks at his hand and a tiny drop of blood comes out because he's never been a toy. He's actually just a tiny person.
Oh my god.
That's actually kind of fucked up and great. Yeah, I would read that.
I'd probably start crying if that happened.
Yep. And from there, he becomes a celebrity because he realizes that he's actually human and that he's never needed to be one of the toys. But the toys are also real, and in Toy Story 5, it's a horror movie about Woody living in a skyscraper, trying to stop every toy in the world trying to murder him.
You lost me. Well, wait,
No,
no.
Neve, you love it.
Is it like kind of like Raid, but
Yes.
Toy
Yes,
Story?
exactly.
Okay.
I really like the ending about Woody becoming a lost toy because that's been his biggest fear the whole time. Like even in the first movie when he gets lost with Buzz, he's like freaking out that he's a lost toy.
Yeah, I think like Woody accepting to like move on from kids was pretty okay. I didn't really like the Bo Peep #girlboss stuff though.
You hate women though, Neve.
I do. I have a huge problem with how they're represented. I thought bits of her were cool, but then like Woody is really selfish during a lot of it, and I know
He's always been selfish.
He is, but to the point that he breaks her sheep at one point, and then she's just like, "You're selfish. You put us in danger." And that's kind of hot. And I was like, Bo Peep, come on. Please.
She's just horny for danger.
Yeah.
Horny for danger. Who isn't? Brian,
Yeah.
tell us about the Bloodborne comic.
Oh yeah. Okay. So this is great. I'm 16 issues into the Bloodborne comic.
It's ongoing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's going on. It's going. The way it's done is that every 4 issues is an arc. So the first 16 issues is what, like 4 arcs?
Yes.
Yes.
Division. Brian.
Yeah. And what they do is they just tell little stories about Yharnam out of context within the time of Bloodborne. One of them is before the events of Bloodborne, one of them is during, one of them is after, but they all kind of exist in a world where the characters don't know who they are anymore and when they are anymore, which is great. So it kind of feeds back into the mystery of Bloodborne without trying to like explain anything that's happened, which was a big concern of mine. And it's very interesting stories. Like the first one is just about a hunter protecting a child, and they're being stalked by the blood-starved beast. And they leave Yharnam, but the blood-starved beast follows them out of Yharnam. And I thought that was a great first story. There's one about Eileen the Crow and just like her relationship with the Healing Church and kind of how she got to where she was, but she's not sure if this is her memory or a memory she made up for herself to protect herself from a more awful truth, which is a really good way of like explaining without explaining. The illustrations are fantastic. It's just a really, really good companion piece. They just really nailed the mood of Bloodborne. And whenever they do big, wide establishing shots, it's 1-for-1 accurate with the map of Yharnam.
That's cool.
It's beautiful.
So they really study the game, which I appreciate.
I nearly bought you this for your birthday once.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, but I didn't.
That's okay.
Okay.
Looks like you fucked.
Eve.
I've got more birthdays, just saying.
I really like that
see.
comic as well. I really like in the first, like originally it was only going to be 4, but it was so popular that they've continued it on.
It's cool because I think the Dark Souls comic was shit on a lot as well. Sorry, Gwen.
A bit that I really like in the first one is they unmask the hunter, and there's a line, and it was just like, "Are you a woman or a man? I never know what you." And then like they reply that they're just a hunter, and they're like this kind of gender ambiguous character.
That's cool.
With
But
like
I-
bright red skin as well.
Yeah.
I wish video games would do more of that.
And I
Yeah.
like that because it was a real nod to the character creator in the game, and it doesn't have a canon hunter in the comics then, because like it could be, either.
Yeah, the hunter's just this ambiguous being.
Yeah, and I thought that was a cool little moment to put in it, and just the artwork is beautiful. I was looking up the creators of this because I wanted to shout out just the people who make this. So I'm going to attempt to say everyone's name. The artist is Piotr Kowalski. The writer is Alice Scott. And then the colorist is Brad Simpson. So there we go.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it's Titan Comics, and it's really good. And I think it's still going.
It's still going.
read like the first 8 of them.
Yeah. I think maybe 17 and 18 are out, but I'm going to wait until they collect to 17 to 20, just so I can read those 4.
Yeah, I'll probably pick up a collection of this. It sounds rad. Guys, bad news. It's Wrestle Talk. So Wrestle Kingdom happens. My beautiful boy Kota Ibushi was for the first time going for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, and this has been a long time coming. Kota Ibushi's been through a lot. Former Golden Lover. He lost Kenny at the start of this year. Devastating shit. And so the way this is working is that they did a double gold dash, which means Wrestle Kingdom took place over 2 nights. Okay, the Intercontinental title holder, the Switchblade Jay White, fights Tetsuya Naito, and then the world champion Kazuchika Okada, the Rainmaker, fights Kota Ibushi, and the 2 winners from that fight to become the double champion on night 2. And Kota Ibushi's been through a lot. He got this title because he won the G1, which is a big accomplishment for him, which he'd never done before. And going into this, I was 100% ready for Ibushi to take it, because like he's the youngest of like the big New Japan guys. He's, I think, the best wrestler in the world. I think he's fucking brilliant. And he did a 40-minute match with Okada, and he fucking lost.
Oh dear.
And I was heartbroken. So then, my second favorite wrestler, Naito. Naito is on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. Naito has been doing this shit for years. He's been wrestling for 24 years. He's only won the IWGP World title once. And when he did, he was beaten a month later by Okada. And Okada and Naito have always been the like kind of 1 and 2. But while Okada is like the New Japan golden boy, like the fucking just king of New Japan, Naito has like always been number 2 to him, and it's always been like this really kind of painful thing. Naito held the championship for a total of 1 month. Okada has held it for 1,700 days. So like, this is basically like the crown prince of New Japan going against like basically the dirty rogue. This is like the guy that everyone fucking hated for a long time until he was like, fine, fucking hate me, and then everyone started to like him. And it was really built up like, if Naito can't do it now, it's kind of over for him.
Okay.
Like, and a big part of his storyline during the year has been like, he's depressed, he can't get wins going, he can't do this. Basically, he's done. And so he goes up against Switchblade JY, and Switchblade JY is the head of the Bullet Club, so that's a fucking nightmare. And he just ekes out a victory. So then on night 2, it's Naito versus Okada, and like, it was really good because it really played into the history of the two. And Okada says shit to him like, do you remember this night 7 years ago? You said to me that like, we'd both stand as equals. You never did that. You've never been like, it fucking just singed. And Brian, we saw Naito live once, remember?
Yeah, we did.
Fucking cool guy, isn't he?
He is.
He's amazing. And the match starts and Okada just destroys him. Just straight up, like there was a part where I thought Naito's legs were broken. That's how like intense this was.
Oh dear.
It was fucked up. But every now and then Naito like catches him with something, but like, it's never enough because Okada's just the fucking invincible king of New Japan. No one can beat him. He's the best. And then like, it's about 35 minutes into the match, both wrestlers are fucked, and Naito just manages to hit his Destino, which is like his finishing move, and it's still not going to be enough. But instead of pinning him, he goes for it again and hits him again and actually wins, and I lost my fucking mind. Like, I could not believe it. I have my live reactions recorded. I'll probably put them on Instagram or something at some point, but it was like just the most beautiful thing. And it was a great show because like, when Ibushi lost, I was like, fuck every inch of this. This is horseshit. Why am I even here? But even through that, they did manage to tell this like just amazing story of this like super charismatic, super amazing athlete who's like getting up there in wrestling years and probably doesn't have that much longer left to do this, but despite that, he just overcame everything and did it, and it was just fucking phenomenal, and I loved it. And I'm so happy Naito's the double champion, the first double champion in New Japan history. And then the second he won the belt, Kenta, the most dangerous member of Bullet Club, came out and beat the shit out of him, and it was so sad. I love AEW. New Japan is still like the best wrestling federation in the world for Raw matches. For Raw in-ring storytelling, it's still the best, and I think this match really showed that, and I just absolutely loved it. And if you have any passing interest in wrestling, you should do what you can to get your hands on those four main events. So Ibushi versus Okada, Jay White versus Naito, Naito versus Okada, and Ibushi versus Jay White. Ibushi lost to Jay White then, and so now he's the fourth. He came last place, and I think they're gonna do something really interesting with him, where I think he's absolutely gonna fucking lose it. Ibushi does this really cool thing where like, he's a really nice, sweet boy, but sometimes in matches he fucking like just goes blank, and it's really frightening, like genuinely actually scary. There was a bit in his match with Okada about 32 minutes in where he had Okada on the ground and he was just punching him, but like really punching him, like it was really scary. And I think if they turn Ibushi heel and go that direction, it could be amazing. Guys, that's Wrestle Talk. Wrestle Kingdom was fan-fucking-tastic and I loved it. Brian,
yeah,
let's talk about The Mandalorian. Or wait, do you want to talk about Star Wars first or The Mandalorian first?
I'd rather talk about The Mandalorian than just like that.
Well, then you shouldn't have put it down because now we're committed to the docket.
What's there to say about Star Wars
10 out of 10,
Rise of Skywalker
movie.
that
great movie
hasn't already been said?
Yep, just such a great movie.
I guess my two sentences are, I agree, I also didn't like it, and Palpatine was very funny.
Yeah, I agree.
That's it.
I was really happy that I saw this on the same night as Brian and our friend Stephanie, so we could have a kind of counseling club afterwards to get out of our emotions after we watched Rise of the Skywalker. I knew JJ would probably not do the best job, but I didn't expect it to be terrible.
From the first 2 minutes, the back down was so hard and immediate.
Yeah, like
it's like I knew he was gonna do that. I knew he was gonna like wheel things back and like, okay, whatever, do it. But it was the fact that every single character, every arc, every storyline was just
thematically everything was just
destroyed.
Yeah.
Like not a single character escaped unscathed by that from that film.
And like this is stuff he set up in the first movie that he just completely forgot about.
Just tanked it. It just like it fucking feels like crazy fan fiction. It feels like a theme park ride where around every corner a prop pops up for you to go, oh.
I liked Incel Ray.
Oh dear. Yeah, she fucking screeches out of her.
Yeah, she was the
Ray.
Demon Face app.
Yeah.
God.
The bit that really got to me was when they had that dagger, but it turns out to be a viewfinder that you use if you line it up on the horizon of a 35-year-old spaceship debris. That's how you get to a cutscene, because it's like a really shitty video game. I just like. So I saw it with my partner Rebecca, and we weren't enjoying it, and like they kept dropping fan bombs that weren't very good. But there was people in the audience. The woman beside me was having a great time. I wish I saw the movie she saw, but I didn't because
the Lando one to me was the worst.
Yeah.
Oh, he was just wasted. He was just there to pop up.
Yeah.
And then to set up maybe a spin-off with Jana later.
Yeah.
What? That line was
that about?
awful.
Are they? Is he her dad? Are they gonna fuck? What was going on there?
I don't know.
Lando's just a horny dude.
People are saying, like, in the book, it suggests that Lando had a daughter and everyone's related to everyone in this fucking huge universe for some reason. So it's probably his daughter. Who knows?
It's just a very convenient family tree.
Like, I didn't love The Last Jedi. Like, I didn't super enjoy it or anything, but I thought some of the moves it made were like fucking Rey not being anyone's anything.
Yeah,
awesome,
cool. And the bit where Snoke got iced was so fucking good.
Yeah, there was great moments in that, and what it really built on a lot of thematic stuff that I knew would be dropped, but not this hard. There's just crazy stuff like this in there's very few character moments for people to talk, but there happens to be two people who just ask Rey her second name. Like, just who fucking does that?
Yeah,
it's just so annoying. Like, it's just. I have reevaluated Solo as a movie after this, and I was just like, you know what, Solo is pretty okay.
The bottom of your scale just plummeted.
Plummeted completely.
Okay, so for you, did you like halfway through the movie go, okay, I'm just gonna laugh at it out loud, or did you just like have your hands?
I honestly had my head in my hands
the entire time,
because there was a few times where like my girlfriend isn't a Star Wars fan, so there was a few times I leaned over and went, "That's from the original movie. That's the original Death Star. That's a shot that matches this. This is like this." And then I remember being like, I think the moment when Luke raises his original X-wing from the fucking water on the island was the moment where I was just like, "This is fucking just trash." But I think the bit that really got me, and maybe I'm wrong with this and other people didn't feel this, but I hated the Leia stuff. I hated it so much.
Awful to borderline disrespectful.
Yes, that's it. I kind of thought it was a bit ghoulish, and I kind of felt a little upset by it. And I know they were limited in what they could do. They were working with dialogue.
Yeah, but I also felt there was a moment where like Leia was delivering a line, and the line was very clearly intended for one kind of scene, and it seemed, and then the response was really out of place, and then they started making a joke about how it was out of place, and I was like, I don't think Carrie Fisher would be down for this. I don't
think so either. And there was bits in it where like Rey would say, like, Leia's meant to be her mentor, where she would say like a whole line of dialogue, and like Leia would unemotively just say yes or no back, and it felt ghoulish. Then
ghoulish is the word.
She dies in it, and then they just fucking cover her with a tablecloth and leave her there. And I know like a lot of people were saying they shouldn't kill her in the opening scroll, but I kind of felt if they started on a low note like with this movie, like the rebels are pushed back, their general has died in the interim battles.
Well, like if they can fucking bring Palpatine back in the opening scroll.
And then like it's kind of like then maybe open on a beautiful funeral and kind of give Carrie Fisher a nice send off instead of this fucking.
I don't know how that's not how the film starts.
I don't know, this horrible zombie puppet. I think they really should have rethought that, and I just really hated it, and it honestly made me uncomfortable and a little upset. And I know maybe a lot of people won't agree with that, but for me it really. That was the first sign that we were in trouble.
That was my takeaway from it as well. Like I really didn't like that stuff at all. Did not feel good.
I think just so many characters were done dirty, like Hux.
Yeah.
Like Hux was done so dirty.
Poor Hux.
Like I thought
He was a
should have.
Oh, the fucking bit.
Yeah.
Where just the line, "I was the spy." Now that was genuinely great comedy.
That was great. I enjoyed that.
I don't know if they meant that as comedy, but that was some of the funniest shit I've seen all year.
But what I thought should have happened, they should have took him along for the ride. It's about redemption. Isn't it fucking fun to have...
He would have been fun.
Yeah, to have him be with them and people have to reassess that.
I liked Leia with a lightsaber.
Yeah, I don't think it was necessary in an end of a trilogy that had nothing to do with it. You know,
but it was just
cool
like,
to
oh,
see
cool.
Yeah, the bit where they just had that 10-second flashback with the deep fakes. I don't know.
Yeah,
Deep fakes.
it wasn't necessary.
It was a film full of deep fakes. It was just like Face App, the movie, just sticking a bunch of filters on your face. Like, honestly.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know. I honestly don't like talking about it because I feel like I've got out a lot of my shit out with everyone.
Okay,
already.
Mandalorian.
Yes. Okay. This is good Star Wars.
Yeah, this is some good shit.
Yeah.
I like Mandalorian.
8 episodes of just consistently good Star Wars.
Yes.
You know what it really reminds me of? Samurai Jack.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like a kind of quiet, considered tone, very specific episodes. Like
a journey.
Yeah.
Always moving forward kind of thing. Yeah, I really loved this. I thought it did a really good, like, kind of just expanding Star Wars out. Like, you got to see little snippets of culture, little pockets of characters, little moments and little places, and it all felt new but familiar. Like, it wasn't like, here's a thing you remember. Like, there was little nods to things around the place, like the cantina and stuff, but like, it was very much its own thing and set in its own place within all of Star Wars, and I really liked it. I love the concept art at the end of all the credits.
That was such a nice touch. I really like in episode 8 where someone is trying to describe what a Jedi is, but they don't use the word Jedi, because none of the characters in The Mandalorian know or care about what Jedis are, because this is irrelevant to them. It's a bigger universe.
Yep.
That's the way it should be.
Yep, totally.
It's like, you're not just gonna turn the corner and meet fucking Palpatine.
It's like I was saying, I think on a previous podcast, how like if they're gonna do more Game of Thrones shit, which they will, like I'd like just a Game of Thrones series set in a village,
Just about a bunch of serfs.
and like maybe like the larger decisions from Game of Thrones impact them, but like it's not like, oh, there's Tyrion, and this I think just nailed that, where it's like you have this just playground of a universe to fuck around in, and they do lots of really cool stuff with it. I love the monster design.
Yeah.
Monsters are cool, yeah.
I really like some of the fights. The aerial fight in the last episode is fantastic. I've never seen a jetpack done so well, because usually like jetpacks look real goofy.
Yeah.
But that was the first time I saw a jetpack where it was like it had like a grace to it and had the correct impact.
And then when he's first using it, he's a little clumsy and stuff. And
Yeah. He's such a great main character.
he's so good. There was real like emotional notes in this as well. There's a character death in this that really hit me. I was like, no. And like there's a moment of reveal. There's just a lot of good stuff in it. I love the Mandalorian culture. I think it's really interesting and cool. Like, you know,
Very video gamey.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it still works and it's cool.
Yeah.
Clara Dune, she was a great addition. I really hope they get to team up in the second season, which they have announced. So
Yes.
I would like to see more of them together. She was a cool character.
I really like the child in it. That was just, as someone who likes the Gremlins films, that do fit right in there in my heart.
So I watched Gremlins just before Christmas, and I was like, oh, Yoda's a fucking Mogwai, or
Yeah, Mogwai. And I like that they're exploring that, and they're keeping it very ambiguous at the same time. That's perfect.
Good shit. More good shit, guys. Let's talk about 2019's Cats.
Okay.
This movie was a real experience. I would say the opening shots to this movie are some of the most nightmarish moments I've ever had in the cinema, where I nearly felt my body reacting, going like, what am I looking at? Because it is so fucking weird looking.
this is just the CG, like all of it.
It's
the
just
movement.
It's just that there's a weird physicality to the cats. It's the just human bodies with the giant tails, and you're getting them all silhouetted against like moonlight and stuff. And the town itself looks like just a nightmare place in a really cool way. The town looks fucking deadly. It is one of the strangest, most uncanny movies I've ever looked at. And like, there's the main cat, and she's like the girl cat. Her CG is actually quite good. That's a very good amalgamation of a cat and a pretty woman. The others, there's some.
Who is the freakiest cat?
Oh, Idris Elba. Oh my fucking god.
From what I've heard, so he's wearing a big coat and a hat, but there's a bit where he takes it off, but it's the same. He's
naked.
Yeah, he's naked, but he's missing it.
So, the way I describe Idris Elba in this, and just for the record, Idris Elba, fucking beautiful man. Yeah. I will look at pictures of Idris Elba all goddamn day.
Stringer Bell's a hunk.
Oh my god, absolutely. If you designed like the grittiest, most fucked up, visceral movie about a descent into hell, and it was just like, imagine like Event Horizon times a million, just the most nightmarish shit you've ever seen. If 2 hours 30 minutes into that movie they descend to the final circle of hell and meet Satan, if Satan looked exactly like Idris Elba looks in Cats, I would be like, perfect, you've nailed it, that is Satan. It is horrifying. There's a scene in this movie where a bunch of cats with human faces dance around a giant empty living room. Then a bunch of cockroaches with human faces begin to dance around the same living room. Then, I shit you not, one of the cats rips off its skin and starts eating the cockroaches.
Why does the cat need to rip off its skin to eat the cockroaches?
I don't.
Too many questions to ask for cats?
I don't know.
For the musical number.
Yep.
I thought you'd like the voring.
Yeah.
My love of vor has been very over-exaggerated on this podcast.
And tested.
What?
It's been tested with cats.
I don't like vor. I don't like vor. I admit to my weird shit. I don't like vor.
It seems like you were at your sexual limit in this at this film.
Oh my god, no. This is really not... Guys, I'm really trying to get through this. It's very difficult. You're not making it any easier. So, I finished up the movie, and I posted my reaction on Twitter. I think people have probably seen that now. And then and my mom also saw this movie. She had no problem with it whatsoever. This is a woman in her,
Sexual prime.
Oh my god.
Just a woman who is...
Your mom doesn't listen to this, does she?
You better fucking hope she doesn't. Because you're going to meet her at some point, Neve. And she does not fuck around.
Oh, no, she doesn't.
No.
Obviously, she likes cats.
Yeah.
But, so I was telling her, like, Mom, people, like, hate this movie. And she was like, why? And I was like, they think it's weird, Mom. And she's like, it's... And she actually says something that's very innocent, but also very true. She's like, it's not weird, it's cats.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, that
Fair enough.
does kind of make sense. Because it's like, what were people expecting from a big budget CG cats?
The source material is already pretty upsetting.
Yeah, very much so. But and I'm like, I think people were just unsettled by the human cat people, and she's like pissed off. She's like, well, I wasn't. I just don't think there's anything wrong with it. And she loves musicals and stuff like that. Anyway, so that night, me, her, and my dad watched The Shining. My dad had never seen The Shining, which I was surprised about because it's like one of my favorite movies ever. And my dad was very bothered by the scene with the dog and the man. He was just like, John, what was that about? And I had to like explain what that bit's about. And but anyway, the next morning I'm talking to my mom, and we're both like, man, fucking Shining is a great movie. It's like such a good movie. And we're like, yeah. And I was like, man, people hated The Shining when it came out. And she just goes, that's exactly what's happening in Cats right now.
You're right.
Look, what I'll say about Cats is like, yeah, it's the weirdest shit I've ever seen. I kind of take issue with this idea that it's like a fucking awful movie. I don't think it's awful. I think it's weird. I think it's really, really weird. If you want to say, like, it's kind of soulless, maybe. But, like, I don't think anything this fucking strange can really be soulless. Like, whatever you want to say about how successful they were, they took some swings with this movie. Like, they went for it, you know? And, like, I liked that it exists. You know, it's strange and different, and I've never seen anything like this. I don't know that I ever want to again, but I mean, like, if you ask me which I've thought about more, like Cats or The Rise of Skywalker, I've thought about Cats a whole bunch more. Now, a lot of that is like waking up in the middle of the night screaming, but like, it's not that bad. It's just mildly traumatizing. Go see Cats, everyone. Strategy talk.
Alright, that's been an hour.
Neve, why don't you tell us even more about Red Dead Redemption?
Okay, I'm going to make this super quick. They released a PC version of Red Dead Redemption 2 towards the later half of 2019. They introduced a camera mode into that version, and console fans were like, please give me the camera mode. And they did. It's available for PlayStation 4 right now. It's not available for Xbox One yet, but I think it is at the end of January. And I just wanted to express my love for this photo mode because it has changed the game into a nature photography sim.
I'm very happy for you, Neve. I know how much photo modes mean to you.
Nice.
I really like this because the tether to John isn't that long. Because I'm playing end game, it doesn't work on online mode, it only works in story mode, so I'm no longer Arthur, I am John. So you still have to consider the animals. So I have to slather my cowboy in anti-scent stuff. I have to lay down bait.
Because you're trying to get photos?
Because I'm trying to get photos of the animals and do nice animal photography. But I have noticed some of the real cool animation loops of the animals. I was looking in a lake at a snake in water, and I was like setting up my camera. I was like, okay, this is going to be nice. It's going to be the sun here. An eagle swoops down and takes my snake.
Fuck off, really?
Yeah, and I was
That's
like,
so good.
It was so good.
That's
and like,
so cool.
So many little animals have lovely little loops. Some of the models are a little rough, and some are nicer. But like, I've like followed raccoons around. They have an eye model changes in for night mode where they reflect light. It's really like lovely little details, and it's like an extra element. I finished this game. I finished most you can do in it. I've documented all these animals as Arthur, but now I'm doing it again as John, and I'm kind of I'm like, before, if I wanted to get up close to animals in this game, I had to kill them. That's like the only way you can get close to them, because once they smell you or see you, they run. But now with the photo mode, I can get as close as I can, let myself before it triggers their animation, and I can take some photos and I can kind of watch their little animations and then have them run off. And it's just kind of brought another little gameplay element into the game for me, and I wanted to shout it out because there might be some other people who are looking for a little bit of a photography sim game.
That sounds great.
Yeah. So
That's really cool.
Red Dead 2, still going in 2020.
Cool. Speaking of still going, guys, I played Lisa the Joyful.
Yeah?
So 2 years ago, I beat Lisa the Painful, and it was one of my favorite games I have ever played in my entire life. I wanted to play Lisa the Joyful, but Lisa the Painful, it kind of really fucked me up, and I never felt like ready to keep going, because specifically in Lisa the Painful, it's all about, you're a post-apocalypse, women have disappeared, you find a little girl, and she gets kidnapped and you have to go save her. That's the story. And in Lisa the Joyful, you are now playing as that little girl, and she's such a great character, because like, she's had to live in this fucking awful environment where it's only her, and like, you know, everyone around her like wants her for different means, because like, she's potentially the savior of humanity. And her kind of reaction with this is like, she's basically going to become like, I don't even know how to put it. She's going to become the worst thing imaginable. Like, she's going to become basically a tyrant of the wasteland because, like, she hates everyone, like, using her and, like, trying to use her and all this kind of stuff. And so she just turns into this, like, absolute monster of a character. And that's very much kind of what happened in at least the Painful, but it's on a totally different scale, and it's just really heartbreaking watching different characters around her try and plead with her to, like, not go down this path. But she does, and it's still somehow really funny. Like, the Lisa games are hilarious, but they're also, like, just some of the grimmest shit I've ever played, you know? And in a lot of ways, I feel like these games do what I wish Last of Us did. Like, they hit on a lot of the same themes, but so much better. And they just really captured that just feeling of pure rage this, like, little girl feels for the world. And it was just brilliant. It was, like, 3 hours long, and it just felt like such a story, and, like, nearly had me in tears by the end again. And that's, like, 2 for 2 with the Lisa games. There's a prequel to these games that's very, like, kind of Yume Nikki-ish, but it's kind of a different thing, and it's very, like, abstract and weird, and I might check that out at some point. But goddamn, I just think these games are fantastic. Like, some of my favorite modern games, and just favorite games ever.
These are on PC via Steam, is it?
Yeah, and I wish they'd come out. Huge, like, content warning for, like, pretty much everything. Like, there's no scenes of, like, a sexual assault, but, like, the threat of it is constant in this girl's life, and it is not pleasant storytelling on any front. But it is powerful, painful shit, and I really loved it. Neve.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of powerful, painful shit, let's talk about Death Stranding.
Okay.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. I think it's actually interesting to come after the Lisa games, because this game does not deal with stuff well. Okay, first I want to open this with, you can finish this game between 40 and 50 hours. That's kind of the times I've seen people finish it at. I finished it at 80 hours, and I kind of want to make that clear. I know, because I like a lot of this game. I really, really like the terrain management, the infrastructure. I've spoken before about my love of the humble postman and the post system. I like delivering post.
Sorry, she likes logistics.
You should have heard us talking about this game, like, this time last year, because I was back listening to one of the podcasts today for a thing, and I was like, wow, we thought it was going to be like a 12-hour game.
Yeah. No.
It's a big fat one.
Yeah, it's a big fat one. And a lot of that big fat number I put on myself because I really enjoyed delivering the stuff and making the infrastructure. I have joined up all that map with zip lines, and it is perfect. So perfect. And I could do things in so quickly and so efficiently, and I really enjoyed that aspect of planning out a journey and getting it done right. I also really like how the theme that I presume Kojima wants to communicate, which is connection to other people, is communicated in this. It's a lonely world where you are alone, but other people's stuff come into it that you can use and progress. And I think Kojima is so much better at communicating his themes via mechanics and gameplay than he is by narrative.
Well, Neve, sounds like a real winner. Why don't you tell us about Jedi Fallen Order?
And that's the problem. I love the gameplay of this. I love the kind of silent co-op. Like, as someone who plays co-op solo most of the time, I got a lot out of this kind of solo helpfulness, and I thought it was great. The story in this... No, I'm going to stay on gameplay first. The boss fights in this are the worst boss fights that Kojima has ever done. Mm-hmm. Those bosses look cool. Like, some of them look really impressive. There's one that's just a giant fucking man, and it's really tall. They are so boring. They are the most boring, repetitive fights I've experienced.
Yeah, it's just phases of 3 or 4, and you just chip away at their health.
You just throw shit at them for ages, and you're just stuck in tar.
You're pissing blood.
You're pissing blood. There is a fight with Higgs, who's kind of like the big antagonist until he isn't. His end boss fight was just the monotony. It was basically you and your strand, your rope, against him and his knife, because it's like, you know, the rope is to pull things towards you. But
He's trying to cut it.
and he's trying to cut you.
He's trying to sever us.
But then you tie him up and then you kick him in the stomach when he's down. So, you know.
Is that actually what you do?
Yeah, you do. You tie him up about 3 times, kick him in the stomach while he's down. Then you go into the tower with him and it changes into a fighting game motif. So you both have health bars, but there's nothing to it. You're just pressing the box button to punch each other. He gets a few punches in at you. You get a few more at him. You can grab a little like worm to eat to get your health bar up.
That's really like the end of Metal Gear Solid 1 and the end of Metal Gear Solid 4.
I love the end of Metal Gear Solid 4, man.
But
like that's earned.
Done badly. Like not earned. Like you don't give a shit about Higgs. Higgs is the worst character. There's no connection. There was one boss fight I liked, and that's when you fight Cliff, and because this is, I guess, about America, kind of, all his fights take place in different world wars, so... Or
Great American Wars.
Yeah, Great American Wars. Cliff is Mads Mikkelsen's character, and he's a cliff because he literally says it, I'm an obstacle for him to get over. He is a literal cliff. A mountain, a cliff.
That's really good.
See,
I was like,
it's a metaphor. I don't know if you can get it though.
I'm not quite there.
I quite enjoyed the boss fight with Cliff in the Vietnam War, just because it really changed up the environments, and I was like, okay, cool. That's a little visually interesting. This is just set in Iceland.
Yeah.
You see the Northern Lights at one stage. And it's just I don't
Is that a plot twist or an inconsistency?
No, it's just it's not an inconsistency. I think it's just Kojima picking aesthetic again over kind of message. So this is about America, shows American wars, blah 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 blah. It's set in Iceland. Like it is aesthetically just Iceland.
It's not a made up world.
Yeah, it's not a world. I kind of thought my idea of it being on the moon would be a cool explanation for that shit, but whatever, that didn't happen.
I really want to recommend you a game where that happens, but by recommending you the game, I will spoil the fact that it's on the moon.
Fair enough.
So just play everything even. Let me know when you get there, okay?
Okay. I just, I love gameplay in one hand. In the other hand, this story is bullshit. It is the biggest load of horse duty I've ever experienced.
Not duty.
Not only is it pretentious, it's the biggest sin I can think of, which is boring. It is so fucking boring. It isn't wackadoo Kojima, it is just boring. Oh my god, they're still
Kojima's
talking.
wackadoo shit seems to be like, and now he's wearing a mask.
Oh my god, masks. There's a bit towards the end of the game where suddenly masks become the metaphor, and people take off their masks and they're like, I've always been wearing a mask. And they put on a mask, I must take off my mask and hide. You know, it's like hiding their true selves, which was not a metaphor earlier on, but they got rid of some other earlier metaphors.
Shit.
It's just
That's
a mess.
really clever.
Yeah, wow.
But I want to kind of give you an idea of the writing. So, you know the way they keep saying London Bridge is falling down? And
Yes.
that kind of annoyed me because there's no allusion to London or England existing.
No, it's America.
So I went to the Wikipedia page and I typed in London Bridge is falling down, My Fair Lady. And I read the Wikipedia page and I went through it and I was just like, oh, there's some cool things here. Who's the fair lady? They don't really know, and there's some kind of ideas who it could be. But there's one bit underneath it that was like, some people say the making of a bridge had to have a person buried into its foundation. And this was kind of, the song was kind of part of that. And I was just like, that's an interesting wiki read you would read in bed. You get a document later on, which is that Wikipedia article. Because I read the document and I was like, I have just read this from Wikipedia.
That's really funny.
How Kojima is writing stories is he hears things that are cool, reads a headline, he goes to Wikipedia and he just fucking just throws it in there.
Real surface level stuff.
It's just surface level shit. It's just like the fucking, like a synopsis of shit. My biggest problem with it is the female characters. Because, and like this isn't a small part, this is the whole game. So the whole game, by the end of it, I see there's the kind of the story, there's the themes, and then there's the subtextual story.
Hey everyone, this is John from the future. Aneve's about to spoil a bunch of shit and I've gone back in time to stop her. Continue to the point in the description if you want to miss it.
So the story becomes this bunch of bullshit about extension entities and your mom president actually being an extension entity, and she's going to blow up the world anyway, but she kind of wants you to stop her, but you kind of stop her with love by giving her a hug. Press box to hug. literally a sequence. That's your boss fight.
I'm gonna put in a spoiler at some point there.
Oh yeah, like no, fuck it, fuck all ye. I hate this game.
Hey everyone, this is John from the future. Neve's about to spoil a bunch of shit, and I've gone back in time to stop her. Continue to the point in the description if you want to miss it. I'm sorry, Neve. I know you want to wreak havoc, but I have to bring it in somewhat.
It's okay. Thanks. Thanks, John, for that spoiler warning that you edited in. Here's my problem with the women in Death Stranding. So there's 3 major women. You have Fragile, and she says this line about 6 times. I'm not fragile. I'm fragile, but I'm not that fragile.
Whoa!
Oh,
she says
this lady sounds like a
and
pistol.
over and again. And Fragile is the best character by far. I liked her.
Yeah.
Like Fragile is the best.
That is to say, like I felt anything for her at all, which is.
I really like that she's introduced at the start. I thought she was going to be some late game character.
Yeah, she's there all along, and she's kind of the best one. Fragile, they make her run through the rain with a butt shot. Her whole
I thought she had an old lady body.
That's how she gets her old lady body.
Oh, okay.
So Higgs basically gives her a bomb, and Fragile has this ability where she can jump to a beach, and this is how you fast travel with Fragile's jump. So he hands her a bomb, and he goes, "You have 2 options. Either you jump to the beach, and the bomb kills the entire city behind you." Thousands of people just dead, or you run through the timefall rain and you let your body be destroyed, not destroyed, aged,
Worse than destroyed.
and dump the bomb in this tar pit, saving everyone there. So Fragile chooses to run through the rain and dump the bomb in the tar pit. So Fragile is stripped naked. Well, semi-naked. She's in her underwear. She's in her white underwear because this is a video game. And she's made run through the rain. And this is Fragile's moment of triumph. This is her choosing to save lives over her body. But the camera is directly behind her ass as she's running in slow motion. And it keeps going. And the moment just before she throws the bomb into the oil, it cuts. You never get to see it. You never actually see her dispose of the bomb because it's not about the bomb. It's about Fragile running in the rain.
It's about the bomb.
It's about her bomb body.
Kojima's just horny.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just horny shit.
You'll be ashamed of your words and deeds.
No.
Just some otaku that likes fucking butts and.
Oh yeah, Kojima fucking loves like gravure models.
Yeah.
And like again, it's just constant in this because that's Fragile's whole thing. Every character gets a little bit of a cutscene where they get to explain their whole fucking deal, and they're these brain dead women that are just kept alive in an ICU somewhere.
Pretty shitty concept.
But that's all it is. It's a concept. It's never criticized or condemned. They're just there.
Yeah, it's just a bullet point.
It's just a bullet point. And Cliff's, Mad Mickelson's wife, is the only one of those you get to see. And the only time you see her face, because up until this point, she's basically a glorified table for Mads Mikkelsen to put a bottle of wine on or a birthday cake when he acts to Kojima's camera. But when you do see her face, the moment you see her face is when a pillow gets put on over her face and she gets shot in the head. It's just a stupid shit story. I might get you to edit some of this because I know I'm ranting. It is just disappointing. It's just so disappointing because, like, I'm one hand really loving this gameplay and really buying into its stupid fucking concept of connection over the internet with other faceless people.
He's getting you with that.
He's getting me.
Yeah, okay.
And
that stuff is good.
It is like, and the way, like, you know, he made movement matter, like whatever else you want to say. This fucking story though sounds like garbage.
It's so garbage.
I do really like the father-son stuff. And that gets explored a bit. And I know Kojima's dad passed away when he was a kid. And it's clearly that being, you know, addressed. But it's
at the expense of mom and mothers.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just like, I have no problem with a story about fathers and babies and fatherhood. And I think that's great. That's lovely. But it's just the same care and love is not afforded to women at all. In fact, they're just antagonized and demonized, and when they're not being antagonized and demonized, they're being sexualized and just butchered. And it's just like, why? Like, I just can't figure out. I don't know what it says thematically there.
And this is from the guy who wrote The Boss.
I don't think he wrote The Boss. I think
it's probably the other guy.
that was part of a writing team that wrote The Boss.
Yeah,
because The Boss fucking rules.
Yeah,
just a really very interesting character who is a villain but isn't, and it's just it's very much explored in the narrative of that game.
I really wanted to impress the boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think Metal Gear Solid 3 might be my favorite Metal Gear.
Aside from 2.
Yeah, 2 and 3, yeah.
2 is just the
Yeah.
most fucking anime bullshit ever.
Yeah,
and I
fuck
love
the
it.
fans.
Anyway, Neve, that sounds like a complicated opinion on a game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because a big part of me wants to just be like, I fucking hate this game.
Yep.
And I do. But
And I admire your restraint for like actually giving, like genuinely for giving the game props.
But yeah, when I like it, I really like it, and it's just a bitter pill. Like I could have been this game's champion if it wasn't so fucking awful.
Wow, that's exactly how I feel about a game that I'm going to talk about in a minute. But first, Brian,
Yes.
tell us about Timespinner.
Timespinner is an indie game that I got for the Switch. I think it was part of their Christmas sale, and it's one I've been interested in picking up for a while, and I got to play it, and it's very good.
Cool.
It's a indie game that's a Metroidvania, and the gimmick of this game is that it's set in a kind of future past. I guess it kind of looks like Mobius, where like it's futuristic but in the past. It's got lots of organic castle designs, and you're playing as a girl with 2 spinning balls, and they're her melee weapons. You get different types of balls. Some of them are just like straight up melee balls, some are fire generating balls, some are electricity balls, and you can equip one of each of those balls or a combo of both. But the big gimmick is that you can freeze time momentarily, and you can use it very well in boss battles. But the thing is, when you freeze time, you can't attack the enemies. So for boss battles, it's a case of getting in behind the boss so that you've got a bit of breathing room, or you use to freeze time to make platforms out of enemies to gain access to new areas. And it's a very good Metroidvania.
Cool.
And I'll keep playing it, but I needed a break from it
Okay.
because I played it too much in one go.
Sure.
Is
Okay.
it hard?
Yeah, it doesn't tell you where to go.
What kind of visuals are we looking at?
Very, very nice SNES graphics.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Like it looks like Star Ocean.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, or
Interesting.
like Secret of Nevermore, or what's the one? Yeah, like it just looks like a really, really nice SNES game. It's got very like brown graphics, so everything looks kind of dusty, but it still has a lot of charm to it.
I'm looking at it now. It's really dark looking, but
Yeah.
like kind of like aesthetically.
The music is lovely. It's got an aesthetic and it commits to it.
Oh, the character's really cute.
Yeah,
Yeah, this looks cool.
it's a very cool game. I recommend it if you're looking for a Metroidvania.
Cool. Guys, Shenmue 3.
Shenmue fucking 3, everyone.
Okay. So last we talked about this game on this podcast, I was very down on it. And I had just gone through... I had gotten halfway through the side quest where I had to get the alcohol for the old man. And I was really fucking down on this game. It won me back over. The world opens up in a big way. New characters come into it, new story elements are introduced, and I was feeling it. I was feeling that old Shenmue magic for about an hour. This is a fucking terrible video game. It is genuinely so bad, and there is, aside from just like seeing Yu Suzuki's weird fucking brain in action, there is so little positive I can say about this game. To me, it's a game that fails at nearly everything it tries. The environmental design is really nice. There's a fun, nostalgic moments where you can contact people from the first Shenmue game. But
Is Tom there?
I'm not gonna say too much because we might
Oh no.
Oh, John.
I guess we gotta
need to take a look at this at some point.
This is a question we'll ask in a bit.
Okay.
But oh god, it's a fucking terrible game. Like, okay, Yu Suzuki says like originally Yu Suzuki said that this Shenmue is a 16-part story. Well, congratulations, because this absolutely feels like chapter 3 in a 16-chapter story, because nothing fucking happens. There is no story in this game. There is no continuation. There's no anything. He fucking took one shot. He had one shot. And he made a fucking OVA of Shenmue. Like, this doesn't continue. There's nothing significant. And, like, I don't think Yu Suzuki understands what a story is. A story has to take characters from point A, and it has to put them at point B by the end of that story. And I don't mean physically. I mean that they have to understand things. They have to realize things about the world around them. They have to progress in some way. There is one big plot reveal in this game, okay? And I am so sure that it's a piece of information that's conveyed to you in Shenmue 2, but I don't think it actually is, because I think it's just so fucking obvious that 17 years ago I saw it and I was like, oh shit, that's this person. That is like the closing plot twist of this game, and I figured it out 17 fucking years ago. The combat is fucking awful. Okay, you want to know the fucking moment that broke me? You want to know the moment that absolutely killed me? You know all the shit I explained with the Kung Fu Master last time. Had to beat the big strong man. Had to learn the fucking Kung Fu technique to beat the big strong man. Did all that shit. There's several more steps in between where I left off and learning the move to beat the man. Then, cool shit happens and I'm in. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time. Then a big strong man shows up.
Is the blocks in this game literally physically big strong men?
2 of them.
Oh, great.
And did you have to grind to beat this guy again?
Do you remember I told you how I had to grind for $2,000 and I was spending hours doing it and I wasn't getting anywhere? $5,000.
Whoa.
For what? To learn a new move?
A scroll. And then I shit you not, you get the scroll and the last page is missing. Then you do some shit, you figure it out, and you learn the move, and you know what the move is. It's the same fucking move you learned the first time around. The same animation. The same fucking animation.
Was that meant to be? Is this like a
It's called the
corner?
body check, and then the other move is called the reverse body check, but it's the same fucking move.
He's just trolling.
That's a troll.
And like it's not like a budget thing, right? Because like the game, there's other parts of animation in the game where a scene is like really elaborately animated, and it's like, you Suzuki, you fucking idiot, take the moment when fucking Ryo spends like 3 minutes like petting a seagull and fucking use that for your plot critical part of the game.
I think he's really good at his resources.
I'm not going to spoil this game, alright? I'm not going to spoil what happens in the final moments of this game. But there was a moment when I was 19 hours into this 20-hour fucking game and Landy hadn't shown up.
Ooh. Just tell me, please tell me Chi isn't the last boss fight.
Who?
Oh, the Great Chai.
Yeah, the Great Chai, sorry.
The Great Chai is not the last boss fight.
Okay, good.
But he does reappear in this game.
2 times.
Oh, lovely.
Fan favorite.
There is moments where the logic of this world breaks so fucking hard. Do you remember in Shenmue 1 when Nozomi was kidnapped and we had to go right fucking there and we had to find a motorbike? And look, whatever else you want to say about Shenmue 1, there was a logic to that. Ryo was panicked. His fucking girlfriend got kidnapped by bikers. It was scary.
There was a sense of urgency. And it was addressed immediately.
There's a moment when Ryo's girlfriend is kidnapped in this game and he's going to go save her, and another character goes, Ryo, we're going to be useless unless we get some sleep first. Then several days pass, then you go save her.
That sucks.
Dude, everything about this fucking game sucks. Yu Suzuki is not a genius. Maybe he was once, he's not anymore. Now, he's a crazy old man who hasn't played video games in 20 years. And you want to know the fucking sad part of it? I deserve this. Every Shenmue fan deserves this, because we were all fucking wrong. Okay, I have wasted my stupid fucking life, and I made a shitty video about how Shenmue's great, and I brought that video has like 500,000 fucking views, and I'm sure I brought so many people. And to you listening now, I have this to say: I am sorry. We were all wrong. And the craziest part is right at the end, you get a letter from Yu Suzuki where he talks about Shenmue 4.
Oh.
Don't let him.
No.
I've wasted my fucking life.
Okay, tomorrow next E3, Yu Suzuki gets up on stage, Sony's exit are there, and they're like, we're doing a Kickstarter for Shenmue 4. Are you backing it?
Well, the really boring answer to that question is I wouldn't back it because I cover this stuff now and it's a conflict of interest.
Okay, but in your heart and soul.
No.
Okay.
No,
Oh dear.
we're done.
Wow.
We're kill it.
Okay, and so how about Shenmue 1 and 2? They're still good.
You will both weep for the days of Shenmue 1 when we play Shenmue 3. Shenmue 3 is a substantially worse game than Shenmue 1 and 2.
You know what really gets me? If you're saying that Shenmue 3 is an OVA and we figured out that Shenmue 1 was a prologue, it just means that Shenmue 2 is the only real Shenmue game.
I mean, I hope I haven't revisited Shenmue 2 properly. I hope it's good, but I have a lot of really fond memories of that game that I always knew Shenmue 1 was kind of jank, and Shenmue 2 is still jank, but it's really stupid fun jank. There's no fun to be had in Shenmue 3. And I have seen legitimate publications give this game a 10 out of 10.
Why?
And I am really not the kind of person who's like, your opinion's wrong. But if you're reviewing this thing as a product, i.e. if you're putting a number on it, giving it a 10 out of 10 is just... it's irresponsible to the point that it's delusional.
It's very anti-consumer.
Look, no, you will not meet anyone more willing to fight for Shenmue than me, as you are both painfully aware.
Yep.
This is a fucking travesty, this game.
You played it for 20 hours. How many hours were you happy?
2.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
The first hour and then that middle hour in there somewhere.
And so, we beat Shenmue at the end of the year, at the end of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Just talks about what's going to happen next. Do we have to?
The only pleasure I got from this game was saying to myself, I'll make Neve and Brian go through every fucking inch of this.
No.
Here's a if we ever do the Shenmue 3 Let's Play, here's what it's gonna sound like. Do you see? Do you see?
Guess that's better than what's wrong, Brian.
Neve, how is Jedi Fallen Order?
Change pace a little bit. Jedi Fallen Order is quite fun, an enjoyable little game.
Good.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it.
A video game that makes someone happy. How about that? a happy...
Honestly, I was surprised and shocked and kind of a little weirded out, so I turned it off for a few hours because I was still stewing in my Death Stranding stew and then turned it back on. Fallen Order is a surprise to me. If you've ever played the Tomb Raider reboot games, you know what the traversal is like. This is a lot of climbing up walls, climbing vines, doing a lot of balancing on beams, doing wall running. It is that kind of traversal through the world, and I like that. I like that a lot. It is not as polished as Tomb Raider, but they have made 3 games.
Yeah,
you know?
That's true.
But Shadow did come out 2 years ago as well, so I kind of wish it felt better, but it isn't unfun. Like I actually quite enjoy it. But they show their entire hand in the first opening mission. You do a beam walk, you grab onto vines, and you slide on your butt down a slide, and you kind of have to move and maneuver out of ways.
And then jump onto a hanging rope. And
you
swing
do
your-
that
yeah.
a lot. Like, a lot. That kid's ass is rubbed raw. Like, it is just a lot of sliding on it.
Poor Cameron Monaghan.
So Cameron Monaghan, aka Cal Castus, is his name in this. He was a newly minted Jedi. He had a Jedi Master, and he was just at the end of his Padawan training when Order 66 hits, and that's the Palpatine's order to kill and destroy the Jedi. So he has been on the run and in hiding for, I think it's like 4 or 5 years at this stage. So he's basically keeping his head down while all the last Jedis are being hunted. And the person who is hunting Cal is called the Second Sister, and she's a Force user herself, and she is cool.
She seems cool.
Yeah.
There is a
I
great
liked her.
part just at the opening bit where she jumps on your ship and uses the Force through the window to grab the controls of the ship to try and crash it while she's on it. It's really good. It was really intense. Like her a lot so far. So gameplay, very Tomb Raidery. If you've ever played that, you know what the traversal like. The fighting style is, people have said it, it's kind of Dark Soulsy. It's kind of, I feel like that comparison is so kind of overplayed at this stage, but it kind of is. You have a lock on.
I'd say Dark Souls is like kind of a lock for the most influential game of last generation.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's a very patient melee game where you wait for your opportunities.
Yeah.
Can you counter in it?
You can counter.
Okay,
yes.
cool.
The counter window is very generous, even on normal mode, and you can see when you go between easy and normal mode, they can show what's changed, and it's the counter window gets more generous. And I thought it was nice that they kind of showed you what was changing in those bits. You have a block, you have a lock on. When enemies glow red, they have an unblockable attack, so you gotta dodge your way out of there. I like this gameplay for this because, unlike Star Wars Rise of the Skywalker, it kind of gives a bit of bite to the enemies, like the troopers. So like troopers are still fodder. You can deflect their bullets, which is really cool, shoot them back at them and kill them. But when you have like other type of troopers coming at you, like scouts and stuff, they're kind of hard to beat. You know, they're people who have been trained for this, and you have to fight them. And I kind of like that that kind of new look at them kind of thing. And like it's a little immersion breaking, you know, you're not cutting off hands or any limbs or anything with your lightsaber, you're having a duel with them. And I kind of like that aspect so far. What I also like is the enemy design is really locale based. You are climbing up the side of a mountain and there's basically an alien goat, you know, because that's what you would find
Just
at
a
the side.
pissed off goat.
Just a pissed off goat on the side of a mountain.
I'd like to see more goats as enemies in games.
Yeah, it was
just
good.
aggressive, frightening creatures.
They're really scary.
One butted me once.
Yeah, same. One stole my lunch.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was very pathetic.
I like whenever like nature attacks Neve, because like Neve's quite fierce, as I'm sure a lot of people are aware, but like when a kind of physical nature based thing happens to her, she just can't do anything.
I don't want to hurt nature, and I'm like,
And
oh
you couldn't.
no, yeah, and I couldn't.
Birds don't understand English. You're not going to be able to talk a bird down.
It's true. I've tried. So that's the kind of gameplay. But another thing they've kind of taken from Dark Souls is bonfires, and you have a meditation point. And when you meditate, you restore your stem packs, because you have a little droid buddy who sits on your shoulder that shoots out stem packs, and you can collect them as you move through the world. Stem packs are your Estus flask. So when you sit at the bonfire and you meditate, you replenish them, and then all the enemies respawn. I don't particularly like the respawning of enemies in this because it's such a story-driven game.
Yeah.
And it's not explained. I feel like there could be a narrative reason, because Cal has this thing where he can touch an object and get a force echo. So he can tell a little bit of story and a bit of the past through touching an object. And I think they could have maybe explained this like respawning aspect a little better. Like say like he was maybe in his mind imagining how a run went. That's like a Jedi stuff.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't go that way and it goes, oh, better not do it that way. Or something like that.
Yeah.
Just to kind of justify it a little, because it never is.
Could have even had fun with maybe like just switching it up a little bit and like, oh, there's some new patrol of Stormtrooper,
Yeah.
or like now a new animal nest is you know. there's like they don't need to beat for beat do Dark Souls.
Yeah, and this bit feels beat for beat because in something that, as I said, is heavily narrative driven,
Sure.
it just is not touched on. Like a Tomb Raider game, this is full of set pieces. They're very good. Like, they're very fun, and they're like explosive and impressive, and the lighting is really, really nice. The best part of this so far to me is the aesthetic. It is beautiful looking. This game is really linear, like super, super linear. And they have accounted for you going down every single path, and every corner you turn, there will be a beautiful vista, and everything will be composed perfectly like concept art. Like, there'll be a triangle here and a big spire here, and everything will look perfect. To the point that I went around a really narrow area because I was like, maybe there's a chest. I was exploring. And usually if you go around one of those in the game, like, you know, it's just a closed off little alley and you get your chest. I went around this and I looked up, perfectly framed vista, and you could see stormtroopers walking along the side.
Oh, I love when that happens.
Yeah, and like there's no, like, that wasn't necessary at all, but because it's so linear, they've accounted for anywhere that player will stand, and it looks beautiful from every angle at all times. They have done a phenomenal job with the environments. It looks gorgeous.
Have they hid treasures well and alternate upgrades and stuff? No.
That's the thing. There isn't a lot to find. When you do get like treasures and stuff, it's bits for your lightsaber. It's all aesthetic. It's a poncho, like a cover for your thing, and like they're nice to get, but like there isn't much to them. Like resources aren't a big deal. The only thing you really want to be looking out for are your stim upgrades, your Estus class upgrades.
Yeah, because like I do really like that about Metroidvanias, that, you know, there's all these like missile pickups or hell pickups. They're all optional, and so if you put the time aside to look for them, you'll be stronger. Or you could ignore all that stuff and just sort of be better at the game.
Yeah.
So far,
I like that
it
balance.
hasn't been great. The best part of exploring has been to see a pretty picture, honestly. It is a little buggy. In fact, it's a lot buggy. Like, not game breaking, but kind of aesthetic breaking.
Yeah. Like,
you'll be like going along a pipe and suddenly he'll kind of just slide off it, or he won't grab things right and his animation will kind of bug out a little. When you go into a room, maybe it won't trigger the stormtroopers, so they're just kind of standing there, you know, just kind of stuff like that. So you have to go over and hit them, and then they'll start attacking you. So it's like a polish thing rather than a game-breaking thing, which is disappointing because it is very pretty.
I've heard he kind of controls like a Red Dead character, where like you like get him to stand up, but he kind of has like a startup animation, and he needs to like connect his feet correctly to like get into it.
A little. I kind of felt like, to me, he felt more like, not attack-wise, but run animation-wise, like Nero from Devil May Cry. Like, that it's a very, like, it's a weighty animation, and it's there, but he's moving fast still. Like, it wasn't very Red Dead-y to me. He didn't feel slow. He runs like a gangster.
You sound pretty
teenager.
positive on this game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to exploring it more. It's, as I said, it being very story based. I'm kind of curious to where that will go aspect wise. I have played better games with traversal like Tomb Raider, but as a Star Wars game that we haven't got for a while, I'm really pleasantly surprised, and I can't wait to dig into it more.
Cool. Glad to hear it. Guys, Quicktime Events. Royal Mail video game stamps. Neve, you probably put this here.
Yes, this is me. I'm very excited about this collectible. I love stamps and I love Tomb Raider, so I was very excited for the Royal Mail to do a stamp set. Tomb Raider isn't the only game series featured in this. It's kind of a celebration of UK games from the 80s and 90s. So they got some Codemasters hits in there, like Dizzy the Egg, Micro Machines, Sensible Soccer.
Is Worms in there?
Yeah, they got Worms.
Hell yeah.
You got Elite, Wipeout, and Lemmings.
Yeah.
So they have a lovely little set with that. And for me specifically, they have loads. They have loads of Tomb Raider shit. But one thing I would like to point out, because I thought this was fun and no one else cares, but I'm going to talk about it because it's my only chance to.
It's your podcast, Neve.
So the Tomb Raider set, they say a celebration of 17 years of Tomb Raider. We're in longer into Tomb Raider. Just tell you, there was the 20-year celebration a few years ago, so we're up to around 22, 23.
Yeah.
Neve, you just blinked in a weird way, and it kind of looked like you winked at me when you said 17 years, and I really... That was off-putting.
I didn't. That was just my lazy eye, but I'll keep going with it. So 17 years of Tomb Raider, but the stamps that you were shown only go from 96 up into 2013, but the major artwork on the stamp sheet is from Tomb Raider Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which was the game 2 years ago.
No low poly Lara.
It's all low poly Lara except the 2013 one. But Codemasters lost the IP way before the 17 years, and it went to Crystal Dynamics like in 2003 after Angel of Darkness. So this set's a mess. It's a mess. You got artwork from Shadow. You're going up as far as Reboot, but they lost it in 2003. It's just a big higgledy-piggledy
So what's the
Tomb Raider mess.
earliest piece of art?
At 96 from the first game.
Okay.
But I'm enjoying this a lot. They're up for pre-order now on the Royal Mail website. Stamps are a very good thing to collect. They're cheap and fun. So if you're into that kind of thing, go for it.
Brian, Mario Maker 2 ups course limit from 64 to 100.
Yeah, this is great news. They announced that they uploaded 10
You
10
mentioned
million.
something about wanting this recently, didn't you?
Yeah, they announced this week that that users have uploaded 10 million courses to their server, and they understand that there's
10 million courses.
Yeah, and
Fuck me.
and that there's a need to scale it up, keep scaling it up. So they've changed it from 64 download slots to 100. I'm currently at 62 download slots filled, so thank you very much.
Cool. That's good to hear. Nino Kuni film comes to Netflix.
So this was out in Japan earlier in the year.
Studio Ghibli doing it?
I think it's Level 5 make that game, so it could be a collaboration between Level 5 and a different studio, because they did do Yokai Watch and a couple of other things.
But not Studio Ghibli.
Probably not Studio Ghibli.
God, that's weird considering
yeah.
Nino Kuni's lineage.
Mm-hmm. But it is coming to UK and American Netflix, so the Nino Kuni film is available.
Did you guys check out that new Masaki Yuasa anime? Don't touch or hands off something.
I still haven't watched it yet, but I've heard the first episode is fantastic.
Cool shit. Good stuff.
It's about 3 teenage girls that are animators.
One of them's really good at figure drawing, one of them's really good at concept drawing, like backgrounds, and one of them doesn't give a fuck but wants to get rich. It's just very good. It really captures that feeling of like getting lost in like a project with friends that maybe will never happen, but it might, and just a lot of heart and energy to it. Check it out. Mother 4 fan game is now called Oddity. Good.
Yeah, this is something I've been following since like 2013.
Oh man, yeah, like we've been following this for years.
Yeah.
And was I talking to you recently, like very recently, where I was like, yeah, I checked in on it. They haven't posted in like 2 years.
Yeah.
And then just this week, they're just like, okay, we're gonna change. We're it's not Mother 3 anymore.
Or Mother 4. Yeah, it's not called Oddity. I think this is great because like the moment that game would have been released, it would have been shut down right away by Nintendo, and then fans would be like, why are you shutting it down? And Nintendo were like, because we don't want Mother ever. I think it's cool that it's its own original thing, and this means it has the chance to be kind of like Wargroove, where like Wargroove is like inspired by Advance Wars.
Yeah,
this is inspired by Mother. This could come out on official platforms.
Totally. And it looks great.
The sprite art looks amazing.
The animation, so good.
I think they've done enough changes to it so that it's not Mother anymore.
Yeah.
The fact it takes place in the 70s and it's on planet Earth, it's not on the Mother planet anymore. It's removed itself from the lore.
And as the trailer says, it'll be done when it's done.
Yeah.
So fair play to them. It looks awesome. I can't wait to hear how that goes. Pokémon Direct, Pokémon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX, Sword Shield DLC, the Isle of Armor, and the Crown of Tundra. I didn't watch this.
The Pokémon Direct was today, and they announced the Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team. That's basically a remake of the first two. Is it Red and Blue?
Yeah, Red and Blue. I think one of them was on the Game Boy Advance, and the other one was on the DS. But you could connect the two if you had an original DS.
So this is the two of them together, remade for the Switch.
Great hand gestures there, Neve.
Thanks.
Yeah. They're very good dungeon crawlers. And In that game, you play as the Pokemon, but you play as a human that wakes up in a Pokemon's body, and you get to pick which Pokemon. But all the Pokemon live in like little tree houses in a village.
Cool.
And I like that about it.
That's cute.
It's a very good non-Pokemon game.
Yeah.
Starring Pokemon.
And then their big announcement is that there will be an expansion pass for Sword and Shield with DLC, and it's two different areas with different characters and different shit in it.
The Island of Armor.
And the Crown Tundra, which is a snowy one. And they look cool and they look nice, and they are going to be including 200 Pokemon that you may have remembered.
Are there any new Pokemon?
There will be new Pokemon.
Yeah, there's some new,
cool.
and then
There's new legendaries. There's new Pokemon in each region. There's new trainers, and there's new like people for you to fight, and there's new outfits.
Cool.
this is meant to be like, you know the way you've got like Sun and Moon, and then you have Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Yeah.
This is them doing.
Oh, interesting.
This is, instead of releasing a new game, they're just making it the DLC.
I never really thought about it like that.
Which makes sense.
Totally.
So it's like a year or two later. Also, I guess it's like 9 months after release. Like I think the first one comes out in the summer, or maybe
First one's June, and then the other one they said fall 2020.
yeah. So like pretty much like 12 months after the original release, which is a good chunk of time.
Cool. Good stuff.
The price is €30 for them each.
Yeah.
Well, not for them each. Like Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra come together in the expansion pack, but if you have Sword and Shield, you need to buy them
Yeah,
twice.
I guess it kind of remains to be seen whether that's
Kind of
good
thing.
value or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, our final little bit of news. Dan Ryckert leaves Giant Bomb. Crazy.
Yeah.
This really knocked me on my ass.
Do you remember we were in the hotel and I saw it and I was like, I think Dan's leaving. And then we checked the tweets and it was there. It was kind of like, but it wasn't sure if you could tell if he was doing a bit or not. And then you listened to the new Giant Beast cast and you were scrubbing through the episode to try and find the bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. He's been with them a long time now. I'm not even sure.
Nearly
how.
5 years, I think.
Nearly 5 years. I can remember when he joined and I was like, who's this guy? We're all pretty big fans of Giant Bomb. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's always a weird feeling when someone leaves because it's like you get so used to them being there. He is leaving to pursue a career as a producer on WWE podcasts.
The most Dan thing in the world.
Completely. And
Yeah.
I'm really happy for him.
Yeah, he's always said his biggest passions were video games and wrestling, and he wanted to work in both. And he did video games for years, and now he's doing wrestling. He did it.
He did it. And I'm really glad because, like, if he wasn't 100% satisfied, like, doing what he was doing in Giant Bomb, like I think he was at one point, but he just got to a point where he wanted to move on. It's good that he is, and while like I'll miss the shit out of him, like I'm happy he's gonna be doing well, and yeah, wish the guy well. Guys, I'd say we take some emails.
Guys, we have just received an electronic mail.
We actually got an email.
Yeah.
We can stop making them up.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Wait, no, hang on. I need to take this from the top. How did they even get that to us?
They accessed our email address. They hacked into the internet.
Okay.
And the results came in. It's askletsfightaboss@gmail.com.
askletsfightaboss@gmail.com. Now, is that address going to be used up once that one person used it, or can multiple people use it?
It could be used more than once, maybe even twice.
Jesus, technology nowadays.
Yeah. The
You know that
fact,
Neve, multi-use email addresses.
It's absolutely nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah. You can ask us a question. You can just say a comment to us. We won't use that. It has to be a question. Like,
Unless
come
you
on.
say something really nice.
Yeah, unless you're like, flattering us with
Yeah.
something, very sweet and endearing. That's much appreciated because we're so sad all the time. But like, if you ask us like an actual question and it's a good question, chances are we'll probably read it out in this podcast.
I mean, eventually. I mean, we have this Google Doc that's like 8 or 9 pages long,
yeah,
full of the good ones.
the good ones and the not so good ones. Look, at some point they'll all get read out. It's just you gotta wait your turn, buddy.
Yep.
I got one.
Go for it.
Okay, so this is from Jacob Patton. And this is something I forgot to talk about earlier on, but now I can work it back in. Okay? The podcast has fallen on hard times, and to help pay the bills, you've all decided to pretend to be Americans and start a modern country band. What's the name of the podcast band and some of the songs on your debut album? Now,
Bareback Cowboys.
The Bareback Cowboys is really, really good. Now, this was a thing at MAGFest in the hotel room.
I think we need to leave the final 2 lines of this song out.
Okay, but can we say the business that we sing for?
Go for it.
Okay, so when we were watching American TV, half the ads are like global or like national ads that are high budget, and then the other half are like local ads of like subpar production quality. And so we thought maybe we could do some like country folk musical jingles for a funeral home called Sweet Anne Fanny's. And we're all in overalls.
Are we gonna sing it?
Which one do we sing?
You sing your first bit, and I'll sing the second bit, and we just won't talk about the third bit.
Sweet Aunt Fanny's open casket granny.
Low prices, shallow graves, come on, bury Uncle Dave.
And we're not doing a third one.
No.
What was the third one?
Oh, it was real. It was real fucked up.
The third one was like constructed after we'd had a few, and
I really shouldn't have screamed it at the airport.
Can I make a third line?
Go for it,
why
Neve.
not?
We promise we won't have a skeleton rave.
There you go.
I love it, but I also don't want to make promises we can't fulfill.
So it's all of us in dungarees, and we're kind of doing
Neve has like a giant pot with 3 X's on it, just going.
Yeah. And we're kind of like zigzagging around the like stage.
Whoa, there it is.
And there's a pig in the back, and he's like, "Make sure you mention Billy." Just,
Oh, good question.
America.
yeah.
Okay, I got one here from Capro. Crushes on fictional characters. Hi, John and Neve.
Okay.
What the fuck?
That's cool.
You are my favorite podcast. Thanks. You guys often joke about being attracted to fictional and non-fictional characters from media. As someone in a real-life long-term relationship with a real-life human, I often find myself feeling guilty for having crushes, whether it be at media, Asuka is one, or in real life. Just to clarify, there's no infidelity. I just sorry, because yeah, that's a really different conversation. I just find people cute sometimes, and I feel like cheating for thinking that. Have you guys ever felt this way? Seeing as you're all in long-term relationships, I thought I'd ask. Also, how does Michelle feel about your lewd collection of waifu figures, John? I fully understand if this is too personal to discuss on the podcast. Well, I guess it ain't. Hope you have a great new year. P.S. Just joshing Brian. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. All is forgiven.
Yep.
You fucker.
Okay. I mean,
See,
I think all our partners are okay because they're as bad as us.
yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like I share my attraction to fictional or real people with my partner, and sometimes we don't line up in our attraction. So I'd be like, she's hot, and my partner would be like, not my type, and I'd be like, okay, is she more your type? So I think if you make it a conversation,
and I find those very fascinating
Yeah.
conversations to have.
because like I like my partner for her and she likes me for me, so it means our aesthetics are so different. So when I think like say an actress comes on TV and I was like, well, that's just objectively the most beautiful person on the planet, and Rebecca's like, I'm like, what?
It's a really fun conversation you can have as long as you keep it fun.
Yeah, as long as you're not gross about it, I think, and keep it fun, then yeah, I think it's actually a fun thing you can have with your partner.
Yeah, totally. And like, just I don't know, like, especially when it's like a non-fictional character, there's only so much damage they can do. I mean, like, I get it a little more with like real life people, because like I used to be very like jealous over stuff like that, but like at some point I was just like, wait, this shit doesn't matter at all. And it doesn't. I think even if you have a crush on someone in real life, as long as you're aware it's just a stupid crush, it's fine, and as long as like you're not doing things to like actively encourage it, I don't think you should beat yourself up over it either. You know, like if it's a reoccurring thing that's happening a lot, then maybe that could speak to maybe a deeper problem with a relationship. But fucking everyone gets like crushes from time to time. Like it just,
I get friendship crushes. I meet someone who I think is cool and I want them to be their friend, and I'm like, I think I love them. They are so cool and interesting and great. But it's just like purely a friendship thing.
And I think in the starting moments of a friendship, it's very easy to get confused about that kind of stuff. Because like I'm totally the kind of person where I'll be like, oh my god, do I have a crush on this person? And I'll fucking freak out. But I often find that moment can come at the start of a lot of friendships, and then the friendship, then like you actually get to know the person for who they are, and you realize that they're not like the original kind of idealized version of themselves that you think they are, and then the crush just goes away and you're just their friend. But I don't think crushes are a bad thing at all. Like fictional, real, or known people, as long as you kind of you yourself understand how you work and know where the parameters are, like it's cool. Don't worry about it. Enjoy having a crush on someone. It's kind of a nice thing if you don't like stress about it.
I think like maybe it might be an awkward for some people subject to broach. So maybe if you're watching a movie, playing a game with someone, you'd be like, look, I heard a lot of people think this character is super hot. What do you think? And like even broach it from a not you specifically thinking they're hot if you don't want to go there straight away. And just kind of talk it out, and then you can kind of lead into other stuff. Yeah,
because like me and Michelle would be like super open about that kind of shit.
Yeah, same.
And like I love hearing about her crushes. I think it's like really fascinating.
Same, like Rebecca really likes V from Devil May Cry, and that boy looks like he's eating loads of frogs, and I just don't understand it. So like I'm like, but why?
But it's so fun.
But it's fun, and I like that she like I like it, and I think it's really interesting to hear that about people and their aesthetic. And I think, you know, as long as you don't make it weird, it could be just a fun thing.
One of my favorite things to do, like I don't ship people, or like ship fictional characters, but one of my favorite things to do when I'm around friends that do is like, so like who do you ship right now? Because I think that stuff's really interesting too. You know. Yeah. Do you approve, Brian?
Keep it healthy. That's all I say.
Say keep it a little unhealthy.
John.
It's fine. It's all okay. No boundaries.
Thank you. Do we have time for one more question?
Yeah, let's slip in one more. Do you want to pick one?
I don't have it up on... Okay, wait. No, I have it.
She has it up. I'm actually going to do one thing here with your machine.
Go on. Go for it.
Brian, we got a... me and you got a riff for time?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm not going to do this then. What did you get in the Artist Alley at MAGFest, John?
Oh, I got a bunch of prints. I got a print of Angel from King of Fighters. I got a print of all the... Time, Neve, go.
I got it. These are individual questions from Elias.
Yes, Elias.
From Rotterdam. Hi guys. Neve, what musical act, band, singer, rapper, DJ, anything goes has the best aesthetic? I've been listening to a bit of Rosalina. She's a Spanish singer. Go check out her.
Is this the pirate?
No, that's Caroline Polachek, but she as well. So Rosalina is just like maybe the coolest person on the world. She's like 23 and she's way cooler than everyone, and it just makes you feel bad about yourself. But her aesthetic and her voice is amazing. Oh god, I can't think of his name. He's the gay cowboy, the masked cowboy singer.
Lil Nas X?
No, his name Orwell Peck or something like that. He is a crooner who dresses like a gay cowboy because he is a gay cowboy, and his aesthetic is amazing. Caroline Polachek's aesthetic is amazing. She's kind of like dime store cosplay, but like in a fantasy setting.
Rad, okay.
It's really good. Brian, who are some of your favorite rappers in recent years?
Kendrick Lamar. I guess it's now disbanded Wolfgang, so that'll be Tyler the Creator. Earl Sweatshirt, Left Brain. He's great.
It's just a good name.
Frank Ocean as well, although he's more R&B. They're all from the West Coast, East Coast. Still Wu-Tang.
Keep it Wu-Tang.
John.
Yep.
what less known property has really touched you in your life? We know you like Yu Yu Hakusho, Final Fantasy VII, and Hunter x Hunter have impacted you heavily. What's a less famous one?
Maybe Akuno Hana, Flowers of Evil. It's a really, really great manga that I just kind of adore, and it really like fucking breaks me open, that comic. I'm trying to think of something else. I really love Nine Inch Nails a lot. I think they're like my favorite band ever. I don't listen to them that much nowadays, but whenever like I dive back in, it's like, oh my god, their music is so varied and weird and just experimental, and I just feel like every album is different, and it all has this like very sincere representation of just pain and like kind of angst in a lot of different ways. So yeah, I would say them. There's a bunch of other stuff, but I can't think of it on the spot.
And that's it.
That's it. Patreon shoutouts.
Here we go. Let's get on our knees and beg.
Let's go. Money, please.
We need it.
Oh, it's bad out there. Oh. Neve, what are some things people could do to raise money to give to us?
A bake sale. Rice Krispie buns,
Okay.
always a classic.
How about like a sexy calendar?
Yeah.
Sexy calendar. You can dress up as a pirate because they're always popular every time of the year. They're not a seasonal thing.
What
like
about
sexy
like a
Santa.
sexy like old school like fighter jet pilot?
Oh, like a mechie.
I mean, I'm kind of down with pirate.
Okay, I said pilot.
Yeah, but I want pirates.
We'll talk after the podcast.
How about like a car wash, like just a
Like a sexy car wash or
A
a
sexy
normal car
pirate
wash?
car wash. Okay.
Okay, but also I want I want my lemonade stand. I want
Sexy
like
lemonade stand with
but
pirates.
I just want some sort of refreshment
Okay.
because it's gonna be so intense.
Want to do this and then subscribe to our Patreon with the funds they raise from it, and also send us photos so that we know that you actually did it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we're not going to be accepting any donations this month that aren't from that.
If you send us a pirate selfie, we'll put it up on our Instagram stories. Let us know.
Yep, I'm down.
I like that idea. The greatest website on the internet is patreon.com/LFAB.
Like not the rest of Patreon, just this one subdomain.
Yeah, no, like I would. Yeah, it's a very good Patreon.
You know the way we were joking about people stealing credit cards to pay for us on Patreon?
Yeah.
My dad's credit card got stolen and the 2 charges were for Patreon.
Oh my god.
Not our
Who
Patreon,
does
but it was
that?
just specifically Patreon.
Okay, that has to be the person running the Patreon, right? They steal the credit card. This is fucking genius. If we steal credit cards, everyone stop listening for a second. If we steal credit cards and then like charge our own Patreon, we can just be like, we don't know what happened.
I don't know.
And we can't give the money back now. That'd be against the law, probably. So anyway, okay, people can start listening now. Okay, let's Brian, why don't you take this first one?
Okay, so we have a Discord. There's a super cool group of people on it. We have a shout outs. If you shout it out, it sounds something like this. This is from JTTG. My favorite video game character is Kirby, and his favorite food is kindness. Only happy things on the internet.
That's very cute.
That's
Right
pretty
on.
good. This next one is from old school member Neon Love. No, we didn't meet Neon Love, didn't we?
No, we didn't.
No,
but
I met Neon Love at a previous thing. Several years ago, one of my best friends bumped our table at a restaurant and spilled hot soup all over my nice pants. I've been plotting my revenge ever since. You better watch your pants, Tyler.
Literally, help me out here, Brian.
You, Kyoto, by the way.
Literally, you Kyoto, by the way. Bloodborne is my favorite character action game. Remember to watch and or read Bloom Into You. I have read Bloom Into You. It's very cute.
Yeah.
Aww. I just want to say as well that at MAGFest we met a lot of fans, and a bunch of them were on the Discord. They were Patreon supporters, and it was such a privilege to give them a personal thanks to each one of them. I really, really appreciate
Hell
it.
yeah, it was really cool.
I really, really, really appreciate the support you give us. I know we joke, but thank you so much, and hopefully we have some cool things happening this year. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
I think I think we can pull out some stuff.
Yeah.
Guys, it's that time of the year again. It is time to crown.
Check out.
Oh, shut the fuck up, Google. Oh, this phone, I swear to God, it does that so much.
Okay, try again.
It's time to crown the 2020 queenship for Let's Fight a Boss. 1 year ago today, we made 10?
Approximately 10.
Approximately 10 predictions.
Okay.
And we are now going to see if those predictions came true. And the one who gets the most right will rule the podcast. How you guys feeling?
Confident.
Oh, confident, are we?
Very confident.
Accepting that I made some poor decisions.
Yes, you did, Brian.
And some of those questions were mine, and I bet against them.
You were very confident in some things that are not going to happen.
Yeah.
We all strapped in, ready to go?
Strapped in.
Okay. The first prediction for the year 2019 was: will a Final Fantasy VII trailer release this year? Brian,
Yeah?
you said no.
Okay.
Neve, you said no. John, you said yes. And when you did, you got a lot of very antagonistic comments about how it was never going to happen. And I said, we are going to get a 7-minute trailer. And we did.
Wow.
I also said that none of it was going to be in the final game, which I still believe in. So that leaves John at 1 point, Neve at 0, Brian at 0. How you guys feeling?
Are you sure you don't want to give us like a point just for fun?
Definitely.
Okay.
The second prediction was a sleeper hit will break our top 5. And I would say Devotion counts as a sleeper hit.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was a super hit, yeah.
We didn't...
I didn't know. None of us knew anything about it.
Yeah.
I think it came out like 2 weeks after we recorded this. But like I literally saw it on Reset Era and then just like, oh, that looks cool, and downloaded it that night. Brian, you predicted it would not come out. You'd have predicted that no sleeper hit would break our top 5.
Okay.
Neve, do you know what you predicted?
I'm hoping I said yes.
You said yes, which brings you to
Okay.
1 point. I also said yes,
I'll have
which
to be
brings me
optimistic.
to 2 points.
Okay.
I am currently in the lead. Our third prediction: an N64 Mini will release this year. Brian,
Yeah.
do you remember what you said?
Did I say no?
You said no, which brings you to 1 point. Neve,
Oh, did I say yes? Like an
you
idiot?
also said no, bringing you to
great.
2 points. And I also said no, bringing me to 3 points.
I think we felt people were kind of sick of them.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
exactly what you said.
Especially after the PlayStation Classic.
Yeah.
The next prediction: Breath of the Wild will receive an announcement of a Majora's Mask-esque remake.
Or sequel.
It's
Yeah.
a sequel, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
And we got that, didn't we?
We did?
We did.
Yeah.
And that was a question I made up.
Brian,
Yeah.
you said we would not receive that remake.
Oh yeah, you have to be pessimistic with Nintendo.
Brian, you were at 1 point.
Yeah.
Neve,
Well, we did get a trailer, and he said that we wouldn't get a trailer.
No, we did. But I said then that it wasn't actually going to happen.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It was a
So-
question I made up that was actually true.
Oh,
Yeah. Neve,
okay.
remember what you said?
No. What did I say?
You said that we would get a trailer.
Yes.
You were at 3 points.
Nice.
I said we would not get it.
Okay.
Neve, we are currently tied at 3 points. Less than halfway through now.
Oh my god.
Yeah. E3 2019 will be massively underwhelming. So first we have to decide if E3 2019 was massively underwhelming.
I don't think so. I think it was pretty exciting.
you think was exciting?
Well, we had a lot of memes out of it. We had Keanu Reeves, "You're Beautiful." We got what was her name? Ikumi Nakamura with Ghostwire. It was the first time that Sony wasn't there. That was kind of weird. We had a dog on stage.
Brian, what do you think? Because personally, I felt like I really enjoyed E3. I liked it. I felt like the general consensus was that it was underwhelming.
It was definitely weaker than previous years. I wouldn't say it's underwhelming. I'd just say that it was just like a very normal E3 that had some cute moments to it, but it wasn't like, it was very middle ground.
Okay.
See, I think it will stick out because of how weird it was, because there wasn't a lot of gaming out. We even got a console announcement that was kind of like a wet fart in a pan.
But that was a very underwhelming console announcement.
I know, but nearly that part of it makes it not underwhelming.
So you might even say underwhelming. I don't think you could really argue massively underwhelming.
No.
Brian, you predicted it would be massively underwhelming.
Yeah.
Brian, you're at 1 point.
Okay.
Neve, you predicted it would be massively underwhelming.
Fuck.
Neve, you're at 3 points.
Okay.
John, you predicted it wouldn't be massively underwhelming. The current scores are Brian at 1 point.
Oh, nice.
Neve at 3 points.
Okay.
John at 4 points.
Fuck.
The next section. Which of these games will come out this year? The Last of Us 2.
Oh, fuck.
Neve, you said it would come out this
Yeah.
year. Brian, you also said it would come out this year. And I also said it would come out this year.
Okay.
Meaning the current point total is 4-3-1
Okay.
to me. Death Stranding. I said it would not come out this year.
Okay. Fuck, what did I say?
Neve, you said it would come out this year.
Whoa.
Brian,
Mm-hmm.
you said it would not come out this year.
Has it come out? Where is it?
The current point total is Brian at 1, Neve and John tied at 4.
Fuck. Okay.
Cyberpunk. Would Cyberpunk come out in 2019?
It's a Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh my
Yep.
god. I hope I said no.
Brian, you said it will not come out in 2077. Or I mean, it might. We don't know. Brian, you said it will not come out in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
You were correct, bringing you to 2 points.
Because it's out in April 2020, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
I also said it would not come out in 2019, bringing me to 5 points. Neve, you also said it would not come out, bringing you at 5 points. Oh. Hang on, let me just count this up super quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh wow, we have way more than 10.
Brilliant. That's a big number.
Big number. This one's pretty good. Days Gone will be a critical and commercial success.
No, it's not.
Brian, you said no, it's not, bringing you to 3 points. Neve, you said no, it's not, bringing you to 6 points. And I also said no, it's not, tying the score at 6 between John and Neve, with Brian trailing with a 3.
I'm just gonna say, because someone might bring this up in the comments, it sold really well, but it wasn't critically.
It was
favorable.
critical and commercial.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice will break our top 3.
Oh.
Oh, it got 4.
It got 4.
Huh.
Brian,
Yeah.
what do you think he said?
No.
You said it will break our top 3, leaving your score at 3.
Oh.
Neve,
I say it would.
you said it would, leaving your score at 6. Do you know what I said?
No.
I said it would, meaning we're still tied at 6.
We all really had high hopes for that
Yeah, we
game.
Dude, I'm like, it nearly
Yeah,
made it.
I think it's really interesting that we had low expectations for Days Gone, and then we had high expectations for Sekiro, but there's still like, yes, we're still, correct and incorrect on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The semi-final section. Which of these characters will be in Smash?
Fuck.
Oh, I love this one.
2B. Brian, you said that 2B would be in Smash.
That'd be great.
Would be, wouldn't it? Leaving you with 3 points. Neve, you said 2B would be in Smash.
Fuck me.
Leaving you with 6 points. And I said that 2B would not be in Smash.
2B, how could you do this to me?
The current scores: 7 to me, 6 to Neve, and 3 to Brian. The next prediction was any character from Undertale would be in Smash.
What does this dictate?
Yeah.
It means, did a character show up in Smash?
I think when
No.
we say in Smash, we mean it's a main character.
Yeah, are they a playable
No, we
character?
didn't say that.
No, but that's what the intention is. Like, put them in Smash is that they're main characters.
I'm worried that we might run into this little problem. So I have recorded a piece of audio from earlier in the year. No. Let me just find it real quick.
Oh, fucking God.
But yeah, Sans is in Smash, John.
I mean, that's pretty decisive evidence. I feel like if we're going to change now, that means Brian is going back for nefarious means.
Is that what it sounds like? I sound like.
Yep.
Now, what I meant when I said that was that he was a fully playable character with a full moveset.
I think what you meant was...
But yeah, Sans is in Smash, John.
Yeah, but see, the John at the end implies, it's a full character.
I hear that. Sans isn't even really in Smash. Isn't it a costume?
It's
for
a costume for Me Gunner, and they've added in one of the songs that plays on some stages.
It also, the special move changes because it is in fact Smash. It is in fact Sans, so that's pretty indisputable.
But he's like, when we say Smash character, we mean a roster character that you play as.
I mean, I feel like I'm getting cheated out of my queenship for the 5th year in a row here, personally.
I don't think an Undertale character was put on Smash.
As a current queen, I think that needs to be
Yeah.
muted. There's another one coming up, and I will accept that because that is an actual real thing.
So,
What did we say?
what do you fucking think we said?
I don't know. You could have
Brian, you guess no, bringing you to 4 points. Neve, you guess no, bringing you to 7 points. John, I guess yes. Me and Neve are now tied once again. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh my fucking god. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Final guest character for Smash.
So the 5th character.
No, sorry. Excuse me, that's wrong. For the next section, we each made a prediction for a character that would be in Smash.
Okay.
Brian, do you remember what your prediction was?
Oh, like Sonic the Hedgehog, even though he's already in the game.
It was, I think, Gino from Super Mario RPG.
Hey, might still happen.
Brian, you're at 4 points. You're out of the running for queenship. Neve, do you remember
No clue.
Leon Kennedy?
Might still happen.
What's that?
Neve, you're at 7 points. And do you remember
I do.
my prediction?
I do.
I don't.
I do.
What is it?
Banjo Kazooie.
Oh.
Which brings me to to 8 points. And do you know what that means? Do you know what that means, friends? It means there's one more fucking question on here.
What is the last question? I cannot remember any of this, so please.
Do you remember this question, Brian?
Mm-mm.
You should swallow your liquid before I say it.
Oh god.
Shenmue 3 will break our top 10.
Oh dear.
What did we say, John? What did we say?
Brian,
Yeah?
you predicted no,
Oh yeah?
bringing you to 5 points. Neve,
Yeah.
do you remember what you predicted?
I hope the fuck it was no.
You predicted no, bringing you to 8 points. And I predicted yes. Meaning I'm still on 8 points. Meaning if that motherfucking game hadn't come out this year, I would have the throne.
Oh.
So does that mean you guys are head to head?
Again for the second year in a row.
Whoa.
So how do we handle
Well, I took the liberty of tweeting out a tiebreak to see like fan requests for a tiebreaker.
Oh.
And I'm going to see here, and it seems the one we've selected is arm wrestling.
No.
Neve, it's already here. We've already said that we're going to. There's nothing I can do about it.
Your spaghetti arms could not take my giant melon arms.
Well, then it shouldn't be a problem. Let's
how
just
about,
do it.
How about I just delete the tweet?
Okay, so the way this is going to work is we spent several hours deciding, and
Yeah.
Neve, we're going to take turns in naming the most video game characters from video game protagonists from games that came out this year.
From 2019.
Yeah.
And this is because I know there's other ones, but one of the things is the queens get to decide.
So we put this question out on Twitter, and I think it's Jackie Dash has the most liked tweet, and it is name 2019 protagonists who can do the most in 30 seconds.
Okay. I'm now going to leave the room and let Neve do hers.
All right, I'm gonna get the timer up on my phone, so it's got like I've got the stopwatch, and it's 20 seconds.
I thought it was 30.
30 seconds,
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah.
30
I'm going to leave my phone here so
Okay.
I can't search shit because that wouldn't be fair.
Okay.
And I'm going to...
Go as far as you can as well.
I
away
will,
from
and
the
I'll
door.
plug my ears. I'm not going to cheat, and you guys aren't allowed to cheat either.
We're not cheating.
We
We're not
won't be
cheating.
cheating because it's being recorded.
Not fucking visually, you asshole.
Okay, also, hello, future John, for listening to this after the fact.
Let's see who wins.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay, tell me when to go.
I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, Neve?
Okay.
Best of luck. I believe in you.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Leon Kennedy, Claire Redfield, V. Nero, Dante, Amicia DeRune, Deacon St. John, Sam Porter Bridges, Luigi, Bellis, Baba, Kiki the Cat, Sekiro Wolf from Sekiro. Fuck.
And we're done.
Shit.
Okay, that's approximately 14 names.
Approximately.
I had to count my fingers.
Okay, I'll deal approximately fine. Okay.
Okay, so we shouldn't say the number, or should we say the number to John? How many? He has
No,
to-
don't say, because that might throw him off and freak him out.
Okay.
Okay.
We can tell him if he wants to know, but we'll also advise him. Does he need to know?
I don't think he needs to know until after he does it. So I'm going to leave the room now and I'm going to get John.
Okay, sure. Hey everybody, it's just Brian here as Neve walks away and closes the door behind her, and she switches out with John. This is a Brian only moment for everyone here. Thank you so much for your patience. And I'm sorry I'm not the queen. Okay, so John.
So is it playable? Is it playable characters or protagonists? Just protagonists?
Playable characters.
So playable characters.
Yeah. That's what Niamh did, and she said a bunch of names.
So it can be multiple per game.
I don't see why not.
So we're agreeing right now.
Oh yeah, no.
It's multiple playable characters per game.
I agree.
Okay.
Okay. I won't say how many she got unless you want to know, or do you want to just find out afterwards?
I'll find it afterwards.
Okay, I'm going to reset the timer. I had to count them on my fingers, and I tried my best to count them on my fingers. It might be a case I need to play back the footage.
Okay.
If I need to, but let's just see how we get on. I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, go, okay? 3, 2, 1, go.
Virgil, Dante, Nero, Claire Redfield, Leon, Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Liu Kang, Jackie Briggs, Jax, oh my god, I'm completely blanking. This is the worst. Oh no. I knew it. I knew I'd lose. No.
And 30 seconds. John, that was a number. John, call Niamh in. You had such a good strategy and you bailed it. Niamh, come on in. Okay, so John had such a good fucking move.
Oh, really? What the fuck?
And he fucked up so bad.
What was the move?
He named fighting game characters, which counts because they're all playable main characters.
That's so dicky. That's dicky, though.
Okay. Niamh. John, you counted 10 characters.
Oh.
Niamh, you counted 14 characters.
Hell yeah. The queen has it again. And John, we're not even done because we have to put the Shenmue tax on your points, and that deducts like 10. So you're kind of at -2.
Wait, does that mean I have more points than John now?
Yeah, you kind of do. You're in second place, which means you're co-queen again.
Yes! Oh, another year of the queendom. Back to the dungeons with you.
I want to cry.
Oh, I feel good. I feel like a weight is off my shoulder. We're ready to go into 2020 fresh, new queenship. Well, old queenship, but new and improved.
Yeah.
We've shown our power and how we can stay in control, and this was one fair and square.
John, we gave you every opportunity and you bombed it.
You even try to be a smartass.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad he's jet lagged. And you can't do anything about it because I'm jet lagged too. What are you going to do?
Not again. Half a fucking decade.
I really like doing this podcast.
Oh, I hate this podcast. I hate both of you. I hate me more than anything. And I hate, most of all, you, Suzuki.
Oh, that was really something.
Oh, God.
That was some, like, stressful shit as well in the middle. Like, I'm not sure how it was for you, dear listener, but, like, oh my God.
Oh. Ugh. Yeah, when Brian said 14, give or take, I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
Look, it's more than 10, and that's what John had.
That's all I needed.
I accept my defeat.
Yeah, I accept your defeat too. And I accept my win.
That was something real special.
Can we just end this fucking podcast?
All right. Let's do the loot drop.
Okay, first we're going to say for the next title of the queenship, we have to get our questions in order, so we're going to do that next episode.
Mm-hmm.
Predictions.
Yes.
Our predictions, yeah.
Okay.
Which ones come true, which ones never happen at all. We'll each come up with a bunch of them and we'll pick the best out of the bunch, and it'll be 10 or so questions, and we will forget about them, and then 12 months later we'll be like, oh my God. As we normally do. And if you at home remember the stuff we say, that's amazing. Why? But sure. Thank you so much, everyone, for following along with this awful experience that is this podcast.
I don't want to do this anymore.
We have to do it for the rest of the year, John.
No, please.
Okay.
Another year, super beauty cuties. Love you.
You guys are just a bunch of sweethearts.
I'm not doing this bit anymore. I can't. And no.
Sorry,
no.
Sorry, Dark
no, what
Prince
happened?
and his
what happened?
and his
no
and his jizz babies.
No, I can't. Like
that's what you get for fucking betting on the wrong horse.
I am so upset. Can't believe this has happened. Oh, do you know, Neve? When I was listening last year, I was leaving. Neve, this is your one, and I feel like you're trying to fuck me here, and I don't know how. But Shenmue 3 will be in our top 10, and you were like, "Yeah, I guess there's no way to know."
There was no way.
No, like she had no control over that game. Like how would she know?
Mm-hmm. Like how would we know Sekiro would be in the top 3 or not? There's no way to know.
Please end this pod.
So I couldn't sleep the other night, so I needed basically the YouTube video equivalent of a horse tranquilizer, and that is Liv Tyler doing her 25 makeup step makeup routine. It is Liv Tyler, who has a beautiful soothing voice. She looks and is like an elf, and she is just putting a whole pile of face cream on her. She's like uses 7 serums. I don't know why you need that much, but it doesn't matter because she cares a lot about beauty products. She's very passionate about it, and she's very soothing, and I fell asleep like a baby. Thanks, Liv Tyler. Very good video.
That's great.
Yeah.
John, do you have one?
No, fucking whatever.
Okay, you know what? Instead of John's loot drop, I'm going to tell a story about how he was real drunk at MAGFest, and at 5 a.m. he wanted ribs, and I had to be like, "No, John, you're not getting ribs." And he'd be like, "If Rebecca was here and she was minding me, she'd get me ribs." And I'd be like, "No, she
I specifically
wouldn't."
said if the Rebeccas were
Sorry, the Rebeccas. And I was like, "No, they wouldn't, John."
And they absolutely wouldn't. No fucking way.
And I had to throw a pillow at you, and then I had to read you a story, and you fell asleep. So it's just because it reminded me of your insomnia story.
Was it the verbal description of Liv Tyler's video?
It was a verbal description of ODB and Mariah Carey's collaboration on Fantasy.
What did I say when you played the music?
You were like, "Is that coming from outside? What's that?"
I think I said, "Is that Resident Evil or something?"
Oh yeah. You were like, "That's from Resident Evil." No, you were like, "That is from Resident Evil." It's not, but you know.
Brian, what you got?
It's a.
I can't fucking believe it.
Okay, so for John's loot drop, it's going to be the trailer for Shenmue 3. Can we do that?
Yeah, sure.
just that trailer.
You fight and you just don't get it. And it's 5 years, 5 fucking years of my fucking life, and I'm still doing this shitty podcast.
Okay, mine is the VHS Preservation Project. This is a YouTube playlist of someone who has archived and uploaded video game cassettes from the 90s that were like promo cassettes that would have like behind the scenes on a video game or like cheat and strategy guides for a video game, particularly like SNES games, N64 and PlayStation games. And it has a lot of like 90s aesthetic that is just real fucking charming. And I recommend just sticking on this playlist and having a good time. That's it.
That's the podcast.
First podcast 2020.
This is one of my favorite podcasts we've ever done.
This is actually my least favorite podcast we've ever done. I'm so fucking pissed, and I'm not even joking. I'm like legitimately pissed off, but at myself because you actually were fair and I lost it.
This is what you get.
I'm like that you video evidence of me winning now.
I'm going to
that
delete
makes
that
me
footage
feel good.
straight away. This is the worst thing that ever happened to me.